JewelleryMaker UK with your blog link and we'll be in touch.
When shopping with JewelleryMaker, you can add as many items to your order in one day and only pay one postage and packaging charge. We have 2 delivery options. Standard delivery at just £2.95 and you'll receive your parcel within 4 to 6 days. Or opt for our premium delivery at just £4.95 and you'll receive your parcel within 3 to 4 days. Happy shopping with JewelleryMaker.
Did you know that the JewelleryMaker phone number is free from a UK landline? Now you can spend those extra pennies on more shopping.
As peace of mind for your Christmas shopping, any purchase you make from now until Christmas can be returned to us until the 31st of January 2015.
Join guest designer Debbie Bulford as she takes you on the fascinating journey of creating face canes using polymer clay. In each chapter, Debbie will guide you through how to create each part of the face. Then, with the final chapter, advance your skills and learn how to add detail and character to your piece. To get your hands on a copy, contact our call centre. Get creative with JewelleryMaker.
We here at JewelleryMaker love to hear your feedback. So working in conjunction with FIFO, a global ratings and reviews provider, when you purchase a product from JM, you will receive an email asking you to rate our service and our products. This helps us to bring you excellent customer service and ensure we're bringing you value for money and high quality goods. Have your say with JewelleryMaker FIFO reviews.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Designer Inspiration. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. My name is Rebecca Redican and I have got plenty of goodies coming up for you today. I have got some stunning gemstones. I have got some of the rarest gems in the world coming to you today as well. I've got my Santa special, which I have to say I think is possibly my favourite that we've had since we've been doing the Santa specials from the first. And I'm also joined by the Delia Smith of JewelleryMaker. It's Prue!
How am I supposed to take that?
Positively, definitely. Everybody loves Delia Smith.
They do indeed, particularly at Christmas.
Exactly.
I come into my own then.
Of course you do. Hi Prue, how are you?
I'm very well indeed, thank you. How are you?
Really, really good, thank you. Now, you have made some spectacular pieces, as always, but one in particular has even kind of, you know, shocked yourself really, haven't you?
Yes. I enjoyed working with both kits. They're both beautiful and both very different. But while I was working on them, one piece particular, I think it's my favourite of all. It's quite subtle. It's not huge and out there, but I'm really delighted with it.
And for Prue, we know that Prue has very, very sort of exacting standards and beautiful, beautiful eye for design. So when Prue's saying that, you know that this is something to seriously look forward to. What are we expecting from the first Designer Inspiration, Prue?
Right. Both kits are absolutely full of Essilon, which is amazing. That's what beaded Kumihimo really is all about.
Yes.
The first kit is full of fresh pastels and quite big beads, and a couple of new techniques that I think people might not have seen and might be quite surprised at and find very useful, I hope.
There's definitely a few techniques in there that I definitely don't recognise, so I'm excited to see those. And the second Designer Inspiration, what are we going to get there?
Right, much more subtle, more natural, very sophisticated in my mind, and I think some of them have a bit of a feel of in the British Museum, when the showcases where the designers make up jewellery on as they would have been done in antiquity. a bit of a look of that to me.
I completely agree with you on that. I completely do. And we do want to see what you think, because Prue's with us up until 5 o'clock, and you can message us in if you wish. Any questions you might have, because Prue is very, very good at explaining things. She's great at doing demos, very good at explaining things. So if you've been struggling with little kind of finishing techniques, or maybe if you're just looking at maybe selling your Kumihimo for the first time, because we know when we're kind of pricing certain things up, Kumihimo's ones we get a lot of questions about. If you're planning on selling, do feel free to message us. All you have to do is text us. 60777 is our text number. Start your text with the word JM Studio so it can wing its way to us. Alternatively, you can, of course, get yourself involved on JewelleryMaker.com. I have got some true treats for you today. I've got some cracking bargains, and I'm going to start off with one of my favourites. It is your Santa special. A Santa special gives us the opportunity to pass something a little bit festive on to you. Not only are we going to bring you something very much sought after, we'll also try and bring you something that you've possibly not seen before, and we're definitely going to be bringing you a Santa special at a price point that you probably will not be expecting. This hits all of those targets. Take a look. Stunning Keshi pearls. Oh my days, they are perfect, aren't they? Aren't they spectacular? So, I've already talked about the fact that they're a little bit festive, which these definitely are, aren't they? They're described as purple, but actually when you're looking at them in the flesh, it's much more of kind of a deep, rich, almost a mulled wine tone, a little bit lighter than that. The pearl essence has definitely got those kind of spicy, deep, rich tones spanning across the Orient. They're absolutely beautiful. Now, I said also that this wouldn't be a piece that you've necessarily seen that often. You've actually only seen this once ever before, and I'm bringing it back to you now. I'm happy to say that I've got a decent enough quantity because we have plenty left over. We will manage to buy quite a few of these when we got them in. So I've got almost 150 of these in total, which is spectacular. I also said to you that it'll be at a price that you didn't necessarily expect. And that includes you guys on the internet. I know that you lot on the internet generally get a little bit of a sneaky peek on price, but what I will say is what you're looking at right now, that astonishing price that is actually under £15 already, that's not actually going to be your price. So start checking out those baskets instantly because everybody pays the same. Let me talk to you a little bit about Keshi pearls whilst all of you lot are coming through. Keshi is a way of describing the appearance of these. So it's not like a biwa pearl, which is obviously to do with location, but also to do with the mollusk. This is actually referring to the shape. Now, there's two main ways that a keshi is formed. Essentially, it's still like a pearl, it's still formed in a mollusk, but when you get things like your perfect round pearls or even your potato pearls, what's happened is there's generally been an irritant added, so for example a grain of sand, and what will happen is the mollusk will excrete nacre and build this up layer after layer after layer, which creates your pearl. However, a keshi pearl is different. A keshi pearl has no nucleus at all. So essentially what happens is an irritant is still added, but actually it is rejected by the shell. So that means that you get these completely natural, totally organic, individual shapes. So that's one way that they're formed. Another way is also from a pearl, a mollusk, which has actually been used to form a first grade pearl within it initially, and then essentially it's left intact once that perfect pearl is removed, and then these shapes can still be created because essentially the pearl is used to having to protect itself even though there's actually nothing there. So those are the two kind of main ways that you get these pearls, which means every single one of them is completely different. Now, it is a beautiful strand. It's about to get even more stunning. Your price point today, that for a keshi pearl is astonishing. I told you under £15, didn't I? Now that for a keshi pearl is extraordinary because when's the last time you saw a decent quantity of this sized cashew pearls? We've hardly had any in stock recently. I know you've seen loads and loads of your round pearls and loads of your potato pearls and quite a few of your Baroque as well, but cashew pearls is something we have not been able to get in abundance, because essentially it can't be something that is man created, in the sense that the mollusk itself almost has to make the decision to get rid of the irritant or the nucleus that is originally added. So this isn't something that we can kind of mass produce in a sense. It's Mother Nature creating this, and often the way that Mother Nature works, in the majority of the time anyway, will be the fact that it will keep that irritant within it. So this is an organic that we very rarely get in, especially at this size. To get a cashew pearl over a 5 mil is extremely rare, because when the irritant is added, you can add an irritant that will almost guide the shape and size that the pearl will get to. But obviously there's no irritant with this. Again, it's kind of up to the mollusk. This isn't a case of leave it as long as you like for it to develop and for it to get larger. That's not how a cashew works. So this is an extremely difficult shape to get your hands on, which is a shame because it's stunning. Prue, what do you like about cashew pearls?
I like the personality of them because I think each one looks so different, and it's the sort of thing that when you're wearing it, in a quiet moment you look at them and just appreciate, you know, all the different directions, the different planes on each one, and the colours that are shooting off really. And I think those are a beautiful colour as well.
Stunning, aren't they?
Lovely, really lovely.
We are actually going to be giving this to Prue as her challenge.
Way.
Yay! Any ideas as of yet?
I am going to do a little bit of Kumihimo with it, because cashew pearls do work extremely well with Kumihimo. The timing might be a little bit of an issue on the threading, but that's what I'm aiming for, because I think that's how, you know, I can show maybe a different way of using them.
Absolutely.
Because to be honest, just threaded like that, they're perfect.
They are beautiful.
But I want to show something a bit different.
Yeah, very little bit different on them. $11.95 is a stunning price. It's not your price though. It's Santa special. This is an organic we rarely see in this form anymore. Your price point is rarely seen as well. £8.95 for your genuine, real deal cashew pearls. What do you think of that price point, Prue?
Well, it's unbelievable. When you think of all those little creatures making,
absolutely.
making those little beauties. No, it's fantastic.
That's stunning, isn't it? I really like that Prue just said little beauties. I don't know why, it just made me dead happy. You've got 8x6 is your size on these, and they are your top drilled cashew pearls. Now, the fact that they're top drill means that you're going to get more of a almost exaggerated look in a sense, because they've not been drilled directly through the centre. A lot of them are kind of towards the top. That's going to give you a really nice undulation to your pieces, isn't it, Prue?
Yes, definitely, and it's perfect when you're doing Kumihimo as well. Because if they're drilled through the middle, they still work, but they're not quite as pretty. But if they're top drilled, they work brilliantly with Kumihimo.
It's going to be, according to you, to have a little play with.
Good.
So, if you want to have a look at those pictures, they'll be put on your Facebook later. Sorry, what? We're going to be price slashing the next item? Are we actually? But wait. I've already price slashed this one. We're going to go for another price slash. I've got a little bit of a mix-up today for you. Ooh, I love that noise director. My director range went as this slide came on. Wow! Oh, it's really building the tension. I have got a few price slashes coming up for you today, which is going to be a little bit special. 7, did you say? Wowzers. Look at the size of these. I find it quite tricky sometimes to kind of get an idea of price in your mind for unusual, unique, individual pieces such as this. Did you get that gorgeous strand that they had on this morning that was very similar to this, really similar to this? A little bit kind of with the gold on the outside. These would look stunning with that, wouldn't it? They really would. So, this is your agate slabs. Now, it can be quite tricky to price ones like this because it's so unusual. They're so big, they're so bold. So should we have a look at the should be price just straight away? That's actually much better than I was expecting. I was going to be waiting for the $14.95 price point. That's just in. It's going below £10. Is it really going to $7.95? Can you believe how? Take a look. I haven't even shown you the whole strand. There's loads of them. Your price $7.95. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Liam, get out your magic calculator, son. 9 I've got. How much is that per one? Because these are massive. These are 88p. Okay, look at the size of these. You've got from around 38 by 31 to 47 by 35 mil. So if I take the smallest one at the end, did I just hit my mic? You can see how large, that is a statement piece, isn't it? But it's 88p per gemstone. This is your slabs. Now, the way that they've been created, if I show you around a few, you'll actually be able to see some of the rough of this gemstone, because essentially, if you imagine a piece of rough, we've sliced it so that it comes in these slabs, and then we've given it a slight shaping. We've not gone OTT on the faceting because we really want the gemstone to speak for itself. But if I show you around some of these, you'll be able to see all the different areas. And then look. Can you see some of the rough on this one? How gorgeous is that? They are chunky as you like. Now, Prue, I understand that we don't generally, apart from in cab form obviously, get gems that are maybe this big on a strand. What would you suggest doing with these? Maybe for people who haven't worked with pieces like this before?
I think the easiest way is to work with them individually, really,
yes,
as pendants or maybe as the focal on a bracelet.
Yeah.
And I think the great thing about the fact that they are they're drilled through, you can do a little bit of wire work around the outside, but it doesn't matter if you're not such an expert wire worker, because you can use the drill hole to keep the piece in place.
I see.
Which I think is a real advantage when you haven't tried that sort of thing before.
Yeah.
So I think on a pendant, so either on a lovely Kumihimo rope or chain, rosary chain, something like that, and keep that as the focal. Or you can have, if you want to go more dramatic, you can have 3 in a row hanging down.
Oh, that'd
so
be
1, 2,
lovely.
3 pendants connected to each other.
That would be
Again,
really
being drilled,
eye-catching.
you can do that.
Of course you can. And actually, speaking of the drill hole is extremely sizable on here. You can see the thickness of the temporary strand, but if I fold these over, you'll actually be able to see the size of those drill holes, even with a quadruple temporary strand running through. So this would be great for things like your Kumihimo or for your thicker wire gauges. If you've got 1.5 in your stash and you're having a nightmare adding gemstones to it, these guys could take them. £7.95 for you on this today. Congratulations, everybody. These are a bit bold as well, actually. I like that we do these, the kind of open shapes that we've got, because it means you could do quite a few things with them. You can suspend gemstones in between where this strand would be running. You can have gemstones running through here. You can also put polymer within here. If you want to, then you can absolutely do that. You have got these beautiful kind of melting colours that we've got running through. If I show you them kind of individually, you'll be able to see that you've got beautiful movement within here. Just due to the colour, it's almost like a colour spill in here. Isn't that really pretty? And it's almost got that kind of that watercolour vibe about it. You know, when you kind of, you know, you're using watercolours and you've got maybe a little bit on your paintbrush that's slightly more saturated than the previous section. You kind of melt them together and then you get those kind of streaks essentially, don't you? Where it kind of is different aspects and different amount of paint and water on your brush. And that's what these remind me of. They've got that beautiful melting quality when it comes to the colour. And how would I use these with Kumihimo Pro?
Right, they're brilliant for actually starting off the braid by passing the cords through the hole on the stone, and then possibly using a lark's head knot, and then putting the cords into your Kumihimo disc and just braiding straight from there. So you can do that on one side and then you repeat it for the other side as well. So you'd have 2 connection points and have it dangling down possibly as a pen, or either way you can have it up or down because you've got the choice of shapes.
You've got the choice of each side,
yes,
haven't
yes.
just need to let you know that I'm getting really low on stock with this right now. Your price point today, $7.90. Oh, sorry, we should have taken that out the background, shouldn't we? Should we? We're going to the lowest price we're allowed to go, £6.95 for you today. I've not got many of these left now. I'm in my last chance saloon. 400 carats worth. Bag P. 89 is your code on this today. They are around 45 by 34 mil on these. And you will be getting approximately the same amount as me, which looks like about, obviously it might be slightly different, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 of these. Huge. Not many of them left in my last chance saloon. That's 30 or left for anyone less who doesn't know. Lots of people coming in from all over the place. New Jersey, Greater London, Surrey. Once everybody checks out, this is a goner. £6.95. Congratulations all. Oh. This gemstone is spectacular. Now, do you know what? I saw a picture of this in my pre-production meeting this morning. I did not realise how many there were on this rarest of garnets. There are plenty on here. It's actually amazing when you think of the rarity of this relatively unseen gemstone. It's actually amazing that you think you can get this many gemstones into a strand. Now, we haven't got as much stock as we would possibly like on this. I have got more than last chance saloon, but you're still gonna have to be pretty quick off the mark. Now, this is a truly, truly rare garnet. It is your rhodolite garnet. Now, rhodolite garnet is rarely seen because it's essentially depleted in many, many areas. This was discovered in, I want to say, the 1890s. Yeah, I think it was. And it's discovered in the 1890s. And I'm 98% sure it was discovered in the 1890s. And it was discovered in North Carolina. And that was kind of the first place it was found. Now, when they found it in that location, they were just, it took the gem world by storm, really, because never had a gem with this kind of appeal been seen. So it's really unusual to be able to get this, and it really did kind of just overawe people, I suppose, in many, many ways. So the location in which this was discovered in North Carolina, and it kind of had such an impact on the world, on the gemstone world, it obviously got picked up really, really quickly. Everybody wanted this gemstone, everybody loved it. It got set in later dates into some very serious, very high-end, very renowned pieces of statement jewellery, because this gemstone is just, as I said, rare, it's unseen, but it's absolutely stunning for so many reasons. Now, one of the other reasons that this is so rare is because as the yields went down, because kind of the amount of people wanting it went dramatically up, some of the locations in which this used to be mined, it no longer is. There's many rhodolite garnet mines that have completely closed down. The founding location, I suppose, where it was originally found, like I said, in North Carolina, that is completely closed now. It is still open for tourists, but that's all it is. It isn't actually being mined. So this is a gemstone which you actually can't get that often at all. There's only a very few mines in the world now that actually bring us this gemstone because it was so popular. Now, because of the rarity of this, and because it is relatively unseen, and because we don't really get that much of it because so many mines are already closed for this gem, the fact of the matter is that it is still extremely popular, so we still mine it in areas such as India, where we're getting this one from, which is one of the main locations to get this gemstone. We're still taking it out of the ground, but because the popularity is going up, of course, the yield is going down, which now means that we're able to get a very small amount of this. And when we do get it, the cobbing process, so taking the gemstone away from the rough, is so intense that actually your total yield from rough to created piece is extraordinarily small. And I've got something to depict that. So we've got, have you got slide one for me, right? So this is a picture. This is a handful. So that's obviously taken on a picture taken on a hand. That is a handful of rough rhodolite garnet. So that will have been taken out of the ground. You can see some of the shimmering there. Now, what will happen after that is the cobbing process. So can you see all the kind of brown, gritty looking rock that kind of is encasing this gorgeous, stunning, vibrant, rare gemstone? Once the cobbing process takes place, which is essentially the removal of that, the amount that you can see there, which is quite a large handful, I'm sure you'll agree, actually turns into a much smaller amount. From that to this. So all of that rough that you saw will actually only get that amount of actual rhodolite garnet from it. So if you see those two pictures together, you'll be able to see the before and after of this. Now don't forget, even though that's the second picture is after the cobbing process, it's a very, very small amount, don't forget that then has to be faceted, which means that you could be losing around half of that again in the faceting process. So you can imagine the amount of work, the amount of yield you have to get out to even get a small amount of this rare gemstone, which is why I was absolutely astonished by the amount on this strand. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. This will have had to have been, how much? 10, 11 handfuls of rough to create this amount of faceted gem, maybe even more. It is rare, it's relatively unseen, and for that reason, I don't think you'll expect this price. You probably weren't expecting that. We know that this is rare. We know that this is from the originating location. It's completely wiped out there now. We know that this is stunning. Let me show you with the torch, because we all know that garnet is one of those gemstones that gets stage fright. Now I'll get you the torch out, because if you're new to us here, we'll do it on certain gemstones, because the light in front is so intense, it hits certain gemstones with a stunning luster like this, and you can't get an idea of the full richness because there's no lights behind me. You don't have to carry a torch around at home to appreciate this, because obviously at home you'll have light all around you. For example, when you're outside, it's just due to the studio circumstances and the studio lights. This is the effect you're going to get. This is that sought after rarest of richness. Take a look. That is beautiful, isn't it? Isn't that stunning, deep richness? It's one of the rarest garnets in the world, and at $21.95 it's a great price, but I'm about to make it irresistible. I've no idea why we're doing this, apart from the fact that it's the last stock opportunity at £14.95. This gemstone is hardly ever seen, and it should be. It's got the colour that Ruby wishes it could have. It's got this gorgeous glass-like luster, which is just oh so eye-catching. It's hardly ever seen here at JewelleryMaker. It's only really seen the kind of, I suppose, the locations in which you'll more likely see this is in your high-end streets, things like your Bond Street, things like your jewellery quarters. This is a gemstone which gem collectors go wild for, because it's rare, it's wonderful, it's unique, it's individual, it's stunning. And at $14.95, this is irresistible glamour in the rarest of forms. You are going to be able to make some high shine, gorgeous Christmas festive pieces that will actually last all year round, and that will actually be perfect for your hand-me-down pieces that you give to your loved ones after many years. Your code on this is are you 16? Are you 16? No, I'm not, but thanks. Lovely Prue, what did you do with this exquisite strand?
Oh, it's beautiful. I think I'd love to see it in earrings, because I think because of the colour, I think it'd be really lovely close to the face. The colour, I have to say, I think for me is vintage port.
Vintage port. Oh, so, yes.
So very special indeed.
Yes. How did I not see that? Vintage port, obviously. I'm more of a cider girl myself, but yeah, sure, port. What would you pair this vintage port colour with?
I think I'd make them into a little cluster, a little flower, using wire, make a little flower and put it on a delicate chain. And you see, you could probably make 3 sets like that if you wanted. One for yourself, one for your best friend, one to sell.
Perfect. I like the way you work, Prue. There's loads of these going. Hello, multi-buyers. There's lots and lots of you getting your hands on this half of my stock has gone completely. I just want to say to all of you who have already got this, congratulations, because I think it's one of those strands that you're going to get home and think, wow, that looks so much better in the flesh. It really, really does. You've got to trust me on that. And if you don't worry, still treat yourself to it, because money back guarantee up until the 31st of January for you today, £14.95. I've just seen that bruise. Oh, I had a cabinet fall off my wall the other day, that's why I've got a big bruise. Honestly, I was watching The Apprentice. Oh no, I was nowhere near said cabinet. The cabinet's been up for like 4 years. It just fell off the wall, boom, took half my wall down. I had to have a fight with the polyfiller. Oh, it was a nightmare. But I'm all right, don't worry.
You're blaming Alan Sugar?
Yes, it was Alan Sugar's fault, Tom, you're right. Where are we going? Oh. The snowflake obsidian is all by itself for the first ever time. You've only ever seen this in a kit before, and now it's braving it. It's out by itself, and it's here to stay at a corking little price point. Gosh, aren't they lovely? Oh, it goes really well with my outfit, I do say so myself. The lovely thing with snowflake obsidian is they're all a little bit different. They're all unique, they're all unusual. Now, the reason snowflake obsidian has kind of got its name, there's a few pools of thought, if that's a thing. Yeah, pools of thought, you know. There's a few. One is because they say it's individual, it's unique, very much like a snowflake. The other reason it might be suggested is for the fact that it's got these really interesting inclusions. Can you see those kind of on the surface? They are technically inclusions, even though they do sort of look more surface-based. The reason that they are inclusions is because essentially the way that obsidian, snowflake obsidian is formed is it is molten lava which will generally come into contact with a water-based substance so that it cools too quickly to formally crystallize. So that means that you're getting all of these really interesting internal inclusions. They're little bubbles, essentially. They're little kind of air pockets in a way that are kind of giving you these individual effects. Another sort of thing that they think of this gemstone is that it was actually named after the person who discovered it. That's one train of thought as well. Not the snow, not Mr. Snowflake. That's what happens when you work with a team of boys, isn't it? So you've got all of these beautiful, beautiful little pieces of kind of interest, I suppose, within here. It was said to be named, like I said, it was a Roman soldier actually who was said to have found it originally in Ethiopia and then bring it back to Europe, and it was said to be named after that Roman soldier. It is quite interesting if you are into things like your crystal healing, if you are into that sort of thing and those kind of hold your beliefs, you'll be aware that this is referred to in some circles as a gemstone of protection. And the reason for that is because back in kind of Aztec times, they used to create the shape of one of their kind of most loved gods with this, who was called, he was essentially the god of nocturnal life. So he was the god of night, he was the god of darkness. And what it was said that in Aztec times he was the god of four main areas. So there was four main areas, so four main gods, and he was the god of the north. And it was believed that this god, in which the ancient Aztecs used to turn obsidian into, they used to do sculptures of this god, and therefore be a protection, because it was believed that if anyone was to mistreat anyone else through theft or through battles, it was believed that that god who would be created from this would actually protect anyone who kind of had any wrongdoing, which is why in crystal healing this still has a lot of those connotations with it. It's a beautiful gemstone strand. It's only ever been seen in a kit before, but you get the chance to get it itself now, which is fab, especially when you see the price. £7.95 for you on this today. And I just love how it sparkles even from there, because you've got that beautiful flat surface to it. It gives you a really high shine impact. beautiful drops on these, but they're the flattened drops, which is wonderful to work with because they're your top drilled flat pairs. 10 by 8 mil on these ones. What would you think of doing with these, Prue?
I think get colour in with them. I think Snowflake Obsidian works brilliantly with colour. Because somehow, you know, if you use colour with black, you get the very strong contrast. This is a little bit of a less of a contrast, so you can play with it in different ways. I'd love to see some really strong colours, reds and greens, that sort of thing with it. Maybe some round beads threaded in between them.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Gemstones.
Sort of space them out a little bit.
Yes.
What about with a really gentle pop? Because I'm just looking at these.
Oh, yeah.
Little coins in between.
That would look lovely.
That'd look really pretty, actually, wouldn't it? Because it's a bit of a juxtaposition, because obviously with this one we've got the clarity and the sparkle there, but we haven't with these. It's a real nice juxtaposition. They're coming up for you later. £7.95 for 80 carats for these Snowflake Obsidian. Congratulations. Okie pokely, it's already that time of the day. Time to head over to Prue. So Prue, for this first lovely, wonderful selection, can you tell me where we need to be on our kind of jewellery making journey to create the piece that we're going to be making today?
Right, you can be right at the beginning.
Fab.
Because we're going to use the most basic braid of all, round braid, but we're just going to use it in such a way that we can get the effect we want. But it's really nice and easy, you don't need any experience. But as anyone who does Kumihimo knows, you never get tired of round braid anyhow, so it's for anyone, wherever you are on the journey really, you're going to like this one.
That's really good. That's important though, isn't it? Because it's nice to be able to see something, and if you look at those pieces, they look so professional. I suppose it can be a little bit shocking really that you can create these pieces even on your first time around, which is fab. So what have we got? Well, in here we have got a huge amount, a massive collection. We've actually discussed this kit in depth today because of the beauty and the wonder of it. The price point I'm going to go to on this will be less than £35 today, which is a stunning bargain when you see the amount you're getting. Let's start off with the Eslon, shall we? Now, Eslon is perfect for this medium, as we've already said. Great for adding gemstones to your pieces because it's super duper fine. Have a look. You've got 2, 4, 6, 7 different colours of this gorgeous Eslon. Eslon is perfect for this. It's perfect for your micro macrame as well because it is wonderfully fine. You're looking on average around a 0.4, let me just lift that up a little bit, 0.4 for this. Now because of that, it is half, well, it's over half of maybe your average that you might expect from our satin cord, which we all know is 1 mil. This is 0.4, so it's less than half the thickness. That means that you can add gemstones onto your pieces so much easier because, as we all know, not all of our gemstones have the drill hole that you're able to get a 1 mil through. So with these, you've got a great chance of doing so. So let's have a little look what colours we've got in here, shall we? Starting off over here. You've got beautiful sea blue. You've got a lovely kind of regal blue. You've got a mauvish tone here. You have got that really deep navy. You've got a magenta tone. We've got a rich lilac, and then we've got that gorgeous silver. Wow, that's fantastic, isn't it? So all of these colours work beautifully together. You can see that in Prue's pieces. We're looking at 70 metres per roll. So you have got so much threading material here already, 70 metres on each one of these. So that's your Eslon. Now onto the gemstones. Just enjoy these cabs. They're gorgeous. 2 cabs here. You have got two stunning cabs here in front of you. These are your blue lace agate, 40 by 30 mil. You have got 40 by 30 mil on these, and they're around 50 carats each one. It's quite unusual actually for us to see cabs worked with Kumihimo. Was it good fun for you?
Yes, tremendous fun. There's always a way of working things in. The great advantage of cabochons is it gives you a real focal point to the piece.
Yeah. It does, doesn't it? I really like how you've used these on some of those. I think it's just really elegant. So you've got those two shapes there. I've also got loads of strands for you. Loads and loads. Have a look. Wow, look at all of those, honestly. You have got your beautiful blue agate rounds in the 3 mil. You've also got the deeper blue in the 4 mil next to them, 35 carats worth on there. You've got the 4 mil too in the lighter blue on the other side. We've then got your white colour quartz in the faceted rounds, 5 mil on those ones. And we have got that really beautiful pink as well, the baby pink coloured quartz, 6 mil on these. Aren't those together? If I just move these cabs and get my twist on, you can see they work so nicely together. You know, when we've seen Prue do those really beautiful beaded, really heavily beaded Kumihimo pieces, and you kind of get this effect, don't you? It looks gorgeous, doesn't it? Pinks and purples and that beautiful white base, and we're tying it all together. It's a stunning collection, I really do. And then obviously these work really well with those cabs as well. So let me reiterate, shall I? You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 genuine gemstone strands. You've then got 2 of your beautiful cabs, 40 by 30, and they're your lace agate. I've then got all of this Eslon, 0.4 in gauge, 70 meters on each, which equates to 490 meters worth of your threading material. So this is gonna make quite a lot of jewellery, isn't it really? Your price point should be, but I did tell you it was going to be under 35, and you know I'm not going to let you down. So it should be £42.30, which actually is a great price point for the amount of Eslon. I think it's safe to say that the vast majority of the time, in fact maybe even exclusively, when I've brought Eslon in a kit, I've brought it in sets of 3. But you can see you've got 7 in here now, so if you do want to stock up on this, already that's a pretty good price point and quite an unusual kit for that reason. I promised under 35, I'm not going to let you down. Your price point today is just £29.95 for you today. Told you it'd be under 35, didn't I? Just didn't say how much by. £29.95, what do you think of the price of that?
I think that's excellent. You can never have too much Eslon.
No.
I know, because I have lots and I've never regretted a single reel I've bought, and that is the truth.
Yes, absolutely. You can never have too much, and it will last and last and last, won't it?
It lasts and lasts, and it's lovely to have all those different colours to play with.
I've got Eslon coming up for you in the second kit as well, but it is in a different colourway. So if you do want this Eslon in this tone, now's your opportunity to do so. £29.95 for you for your feminine beauty. I've got almost half of my stock gone on this once you lot check out your basket, so please do so. It's only £29.95, it's a bargain. I'm coming over to you now, Prue.
Lovely.
You've made loads, I've got to say.
Well, I had a lot of fun. I just couldn't stop myself.
Oh,
it was only time that stopped me in the end.
Oh, bless. And well, I'm glad you had a lot of fun. You can definitely see that you have, because the amount you've done, it's quite a nice range you've got as well. I love that you've done some of the flat braids as well as kind of the twisted, as well as adding on gems and still keeping it simple.
Yes, yes. And I wanted to show how you could use the colours differently. I've used them singly in some places. I've used them together to get different effects. And that's how you can really customise your jewellery with a kit like this. It can look different with whoever does it.
It really can, can't it? I just think it's absolutely beautiful. So, when we have a look at these pieces, I've got to point out this little bow. Oh my goodness, how cutesy. What else could we make that into as opposed to just a bracelet? Could it be a headband?
Yes, yes. Oh, no, definitely. Or even stuck onto a hairband as well.
Yes.
So a headband or a hairband. Yes,
Oh,
yeah.
cute.
Across the top of a little hair comb as well.
Oh, that'd be adorable, wouldn't it? Lovely ladies and gentlemen, just to let you know that we don't have any of our Kumihimo discs in stock at the moment. I know we're going to get lots of messages about it. We don't have any in stock at the moment, but I have got some essentials coming up, like your cord ends, like your bobbins. They're all coming up for you today, so don't worry, we've got lots and lots of goodies for you coming up. I just adore your kind of loop style as well that we've got here. That is so beautiful, isn't it? Can you see with your locks? Oh, sorry, kind of putting that all the way there, aren't I? Depth to the shoe. You've got that looping through. How have you managed to create that?
That's what I'm going to show. That's what I'm going to demonstrate. And I wanted to do that because it shows in a kit like this where you've got so much Eslon and so many beads, you can make numerous necklaces like this and it's so lovely to have the luxury of lots of cord, so you can make lots of things like that. There are no other findings in that particular one. There are in some of the other ones, but this is an opportunity to make something without findings, really.
Absolutely. I love, we were saying before, it's quite unusual to use the cabs in this. It's beautiful how you've done it. It's quite nice because in particular on this one, you get to see the whole of the stone, really.
Yes, I wanted that one very simple. I am using sticking techniques there, so I'm sticking onto backing fabrics, and in that particular one, I just wrapped wire around the edge and used the stitching technique to keep it in place.
Ah, so added security there.
Yes, absolutely.
It's gorgeous to be able to see, because every single one is unique, obviously.
Yes, yes.
So it's beautiful to have that effect through.
Keep it nice and simple for some, and I then went a bit fussy on one of the other ones.
Yes, well, why not? Absolutely. You've always got a soutache feel to this one, haven't you?
Yes, yes. I mean, the techniques are similar, yes.
It's really, really pretty. I love the way that you've actually used the more delicate ones on the underneath. That's quite an unusual way to do it, because usually you'd graduate it.
Yes, no, that's a good point, yes, yes.
It's really pretty. So, Prue, we're going to be getting a go on this one. Where should we start on this?
Right, we're going to start at the tip of the beaded part.
Yeah.
And what we need for that is some quite substantial lengths of Eslon.
Yes.
Because we're going to use them double. This is a round braid, as I said, so we're going to use 8 of the slots. We're going to use 2 cords in each slot.
Okay.
So to make this necklace, you actually need 2.4 meters times 8, and we're going to use that double.
And we're going to use that double.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm obviously going to use smaller quantities here, or my hands will be over the other side of the desk.
Okay, brilliant.
And so you need 8 of those. And so what I've got here is 6 of them. And then I've taken one to one side, and I'm going to thread on one of the gemstones for our Kumihimo. So the starting point is going to be this single bead. So we thread the Eslon through the bead and center it up. There we go. And then we find the center point of our other 7 cords. Sorry, actually, it's 7 cords. Find the center point, and then we're going to wrap this first cord around the midpoint and tie a double knot. Go. Eslon knots, really, to undo them, they're relatively easy to undo because it's a bonded thread.
Yes.
You know, they don't sort of fray into the knot, so you can easily find a point to pull them apart with a needle or something. So I've got so now I've got my threads secured in the middle with one.
Yeah.
And now I've got something I can put onto my Kumihimo board.
Okay.
Kumihimo disc even. So this goes in the middle. So I've actually loaded them up already. And as I said before, you want to have 2 in each slot. And we're going to go for the slots on either side of the dots at north, south, east and west.
Okay.
2 in each, and just make sure that at the bottom you have in the middle, pull them too hard when you put them into the slot, so you can pull them right through.
Right
so
out,
just be reasonably mindful of that, so that you're not pulling too hard.
Okay.
Now the next thing we need to do is start the braid off. We can't add any beads until we've got a little bit of braid done, so we're going to do 8 individual moves, and it's the straightforward top down, bottom up, or vice versa, depending on what you're comfortable with. I always work top down, bottom up. They are exactly the same movement. Some people get confused by this, but because these cords don't cross, they are exactly the same if you go top down, bottom up, or bottom up, top down.
Okay.
So I've just gone top down, bottom up. and a quarter turn in either direction. And then again in the next, and then again a quarter turn, and top down, bottom up, and top down,
yeah,
bottom up. And I hope I've done 8 individual moves now. And what we have now is the braid starting off, so we've got a place that'll take our beads. The next thing you need to do is thread on the beads, and for this you need 5 beads on each cord, and you need you need them in diagonally opposite each other.
Okay.
So I've put the pink gemstones at the top and bottom, and I've put the white gemstones to either side, really symmetrical, and diagonally opposite like that. So,
Okay.
So now we're going to start the beading, and this is, most people will be familiar with this, but for beginners I really want to just show how easy it is.
Perfect.
And what might be new for people is working with such large beads, because in the past I've shown Kumihimo with smaller beads.
Smaller, yeah.
And so there is a difference.
Okay.
So you drop the bead down the cords and tuck it under the next cord you're coming across. With large gemstones like this, they do stay in position quite neatly.
Good.
If it pops out, thumb on top.
Okey-dokes. Good tip.
And same at the bottom. So I'm doing my bottom up, I'm sliding a gemstone down the cord, tucking it under, I'm turning around. Now I'd just like to say, the reason I would recommend using bobbins when you're using beading, particularly with such long lengths of cord, you're going to get in a mess if you don't have bobbins. The reason I'm not is they bump onto the table, so you don't normally do Kumihimo on top of a table like this.
Of course.
So that's why, but I would definitely, for these sort of lengths, recommend having bobbins.
We have got the bobbins coming
Good.
out.
So we've moved on. Now we've got the next colour of gemstone, down it goes. Now this is you're gonna feel this has got a slightly looser feel to it than you're used to.
Is that because of the larger gems?
It is, and I've got a little trick to cure that.
Ooh.
What I need to do is pop my weight on, which I haven't got out, so I'm just going to get that out. Once you get started, you really want to have them pulled down a little bit, so I'm just going to get my weight out.
Whilst you get that, I can give you an alternate colourway on the gemstones with this, because I'm just looking and I'm seeing, if you've bought the kit, you'll be getting these 2 colours, and look how beautifully they go, not only with that gorgeous amethyst cap, but also with this pop of purple as well. These are coming in that kit that you've just purchased, and this alternate colourway goes spectacularly well. It really does. Regal Beauty, this is called. They are spectacular. Peter! Brother Pete! Can I borrow your...
Well, I'm good.
Yeah, you're all good. Thank you, chicken. Let me just show you, because I want to show you with this light shining through, because again, the lights at this direction in particular are a bit confusing for certain cabs. So on the amethyst, you should be able to see. Look at the clarity of that. Isn't that gorgeous? All of these different veining aspects. And they really do go exceptionally well with that Eslon that you've just got in the kit, with both of those colours and more actually, but these are just the 2 most, I suppose, closest colours. So you're getting the cab. Now the cab is 40 by 30 mil, and you've got 50 carats worth on that. I absolutely adore amethyst when it's in its natural form like this, because it really adds interest. I've then got your gemstones so that you're able to create this piece as well. So you've got beautiful purple. It's a really full marcasite, and these are in your it's your howlite, and these are in your 6 mil that we have. So again, corresponding sizes to the ones that you got in that original kit, which means you will be able to create this look that we're doing now with these gemstones. 50 carats worth on that strand, and your marcasite. The marcasite is stunning because it's got that gorgeous gold burst through it. Actually, thinking it will go really well with this kit, this alternate colourway, but actually I've got some gold Eslon in my second kit, which this strand would also go well with.
Oh, that'd be lovely.
Wasn't it?
Lovely.
It's just going to make your kits go even further at a bargain price of just £9.95 for all 3 of these. 2 strands, your marcasite and that beautiful howlite, 90 carats worth on the 6mm, and a cab at £9.95. Now you already know that the lowest individual price we're allowed to go on our strands is £6.95. So even just for the strands you were probably expecting around the £12 mark, weren't you? But then with the added bonus of a cab, you were probably expecting around the £15 mark, even at JewelleryMaker prices. But today we're doing all 3 for £9.95.
Wow.
These looks.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
That is beautiful, beautiful way of just making your kits go a little bit further. So if you've already got the kit, but you think, oh, actually, I love how Prue's done that cab, I'll probably want to do that more than twice. Now you've got the opportunity to. 2 extra strands and a gorgeous, beautiful amethyst cab for just £9.95. Congratulations, everyone. Do check out those baskets. It's a wonderful colourway, which will go great with this, but also great with your next kit too. Okay, I'm back with you, Prue. Your weight's on.
My weight is on, absolutely. The weight is over, my weight is on. I've braided in a few more beads, and what you'll see is we are starting to get loose feel. So I'll do another 2, drop them in, and then my little trick is to just pop a bead loosely in the middle and push it down.
Oh, wow.
And that will keep it nice and firm. And if you squeeze those, if you squeeze those bubbles, you'll feel they've got.
Don't mind if I do.
You'll feel they've got a nice firm feel to them. Without that, if you squeeze, they'd flatten and then flatten out the other way. So this gives that, just by filling up that hole with a bead, that gives it a really nice feel. And because it's a functional part of the necklace, it's part, you know, to secure the lariat. You know, you do want it to be firm.
Need that strength, don't you?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, that's great because it changes the tension. Because obviously...
Yes. So you basically go on like that, and you're going to braid in the first 3 beads on all 8 cords. And as you go a little bit further, then there'll be a bit more of a gap, so you pop in another bead. And so in this first section, you braid in, as I say, 3 beads from each cord, and you also pop in 3 beads into the middle. Now they might try to squash out a bit, so just keep squashing them down. When we get to the bare braid section, they'll be completely trapped inside.
Because obviously they're much larger than any of the holes, so they're not going anywhere.
There's no, absolutely. So, where are we? There we go. I don't think I've added enough beads onto that one as you come to that. So, I'm going to put another bead in, another gemstone in. It could be either colour. I've decided to just have white peeping through, because it'll peep through a tiny bit maybe. Yeah. So if you put a really dark colour, you could get quite an interesting effect as well.
That'd be quite nice, actually. And I suppose it depends on the type of cord you're using too, doesn't it?
Yes.
To how much of the colour you can see
exactly,
through.
Yes. So
it's a very relaxing medium, Kumihimo.
Oh,
isn't
it is. The way I always like to do it is that I like to do the threading on of beads when the light is good in the day, and then when I settle down to watch television in the evening, I like to have some Kumihimo already threaded up, so I can do this. Is the best bit is the braiding, really. The threading can be. Oh, you've got to concentrate a bit sometimes, particularly if you're doing complex patterns.
Of course.
And then I think now we can squeeze one more bead in.
Yeah.
There we go, very neatly. And then just a couple more. I should just have 2 left on each cord, though as I say, my counting did go wrong on one of them. There we go. Happens to the best of us.
Oh, good. I'm glad it's a normal thing. Just to let you know, getting quite low on stock actually, because there's lots of you who've already got your hands on this Regal Beauty. I didn't know what that said at first. Regal Beauty, which is why I held it on. I thought it was quite casual. Hardly anyone noticed. Regal Beauty is the alternate colourway on this for you. That's at the side 5. Lots of you coming in for it. Please check out those baskets.
Right, so 3 gemstones have gone in the middle. 3 have been braided in from each of the 8 cords. So now I'm going to close up that gap.
Okay.
Just a bit more braiding. And just, it will slowly close up and those beads will be trapped. As I say, if they pop out, pop them back in again. So with each move, I'm just getting a slightly smaller hole. And there we go. It's now the gap in the middle is completely closed up.
Got ya.
Because this is the lariat, you need the 2 different bobbles so that the loop has got. So that's just a rough measurement. You just need to make sure that you've got a gap there, and that will stop the loop from riding up the necklace. That's why you need the 2.
Okay, good tip. So you do that for about 1 centimetre.
Yes, absolutely.
It's quite interesting. You can get quite quick at it, don't you?
Yes, yes.
It's nice that someone who is new to it or maybe hasn't done that much can still create this look, because it looks very high end. I know it's always a hard question and guest designers hate me for asking, but how much would we sell that piece for, Prue, the piece we're learning to create now?
It's difficult because I actually don't sell my jewellery, I sell my designs, which is a different way of looking at it.
Yes.
I think you should be able to make this. The actual long piece of braiding will take a while, but you're probably going to be watching television when you do that. So, you don't need to charge out your time too much for that part, I always think. Where would we say? I mean, it's genuine gemstones. I'd say £25, something like that.
I think that's an absolute bargain. I would snap that up at £25. It's gorgeous. That's a really good price.
Right, so just getting onto the... And the other thing that people might notice is that I'm going into, you can go in 2 directions. People always say you've got to keep going in the same direction. You actually don't, because it's totally symmetrical. So if I turn my disc this way, I come to these chords. If I turn my disc that way, I come to the same chords. So speed Kumihimo is going to and fro.
Wow, that
so I'm
sounds
going
intense.
that way. And it's much faster that way.
That's amazing. I'm going to get in touch with the Olympics. Have you heard about speed, Kumihimo? It's intense. Like that.
Right, so there's our sort of about 1 centimetre. That'll be plenty to keep the loop in place.
Okay.
And now we've got 2. We should have 2 gemstones left on each cord, unless, like me, you've got one on one of them mysteriously. But we don't need to worry about that. We'll thread another one on. And all you need to do is braid those in exactly the same way. And now you've got 2. You'll still get the same in. That'll do the trick. Just keeping it nice and firm.
If you do kind of forget or perhaps miscount your gemstones, it's not a big problem to just add another on, is it?
No, absolutely, no.
And you do have all yours pre-threaded on, don't you? But could you do it one at a time?
Oh yes, you definitely
can. It takes a bit more time, does it?
Yes, but I do know people who prefer that method. It's because perhaps as you're working, you might decide you want a slightly different pattern. So it does allow you greater flexibility.
Okay, I see.
If you just want to sit and watch the television, then it is better to have them threaded down and do it. But no.
Different strokes for different folks.
Exactly, exactly. And these, just like I say, these holes, these gemstones have got lovely drill holes, so they're very quick and easy to load. As you can see, I've actually got 2 cords through each one, and that certainly makes a difference.
And that is, wonderful about the gemstones, but also the Aslan too, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. Yes, and it doesn't fray because it's bonded. It doesn't fray. So now time for another little gemstone to go into his little home. Right. And it's very similar, really. It's just making a slightly smaller. It has the effect really of a beaded bead, doesn't it, on the braid like that. And this is where you can adjust your design. He jumped out there. There we go. This is where you can adjust your design. You might like to see a little bit more beading in the front. I probably wouldn't go for less. Probably the lower one could just be 2 beads. And this is just the one where I missed one.
Because you've got the beads in there, it appears to build up much faster, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Bigger beads, much faster. And it is just this issue of having a little bit of a gap in the middle that needs to be addressed in some way or other.
Yeah.
You can bead around a cord, braid around a cord, which will also give you stability. But I only wanted the extra section in the middle, just where those beads are. I wanted it to be nice and narrow. I wanted to do it this way, and it was just trial and error. I thought, gosh, something needs to go in there.
Yeah.
Try this. Right. So they're all the last 2. Gemstones on each cord are now braided in. The individual one is in the middle, and same thing, just close up the gap. And once you've done that, you then continue to braid for the length you want. And of course, a lariat, it's quite a personal thing how long you want it. And with the with the kit having so much Eslon in, you're not going to, you don't need to be stingy. Basically, you can have it as long as you want. I did mine for 50 centimeters. So I braided from this point. I braided for 50 centimeters until buttonhole.
Okay, brilliant. Well, whilst you're just finishing that kind of closure, I'm going to give you guys at home the opportunity to finally get your hands on the bobbins. Now, these are our large bobbins. Please tell me exactly why people go Coco Loco with excitement over the bobbins.
Just because they get you really nice and organised.
Yes.
Particularly when you've got very long cords, or when you've got a lot of beads on your cord, they can start to dangle and tangle. So as I said before, you wouldn't normally be braiding as I am over a table.
No.
You'd have it over an open space, dangling down. So if you've got long cords with beads, they start to bob up and down and can get beads nest you've ever seen. And the cat will attack them.
Of course, yes, all mischievous puppies.
Absolutely.
Yep. Absolutely.
So with short lengths, you're fine. That's why I use short lengths here for demonstration, because as I said before, to have all the bobbins here, it's difficult to actually show. But I use them the whole time. I think they are a must, and yeah, they're very practical.
And our large bobbins, which are relatively new to us actually, I haven't seen them before. They're huge, aren't they? And these large bobbins that are approximately 9 centimetres, you're getting 4 of them. These are going to be great for when you have got the beaded cord, aren't they?
Yes, yes. And also if you want to braid with something like the sari ribbon, yes, the very long braid. There starts to be a lot under the disc, and so you can actually coil your finished braid around there to keep it tight, neat and tight, so it's not dangling on the floor, or as we said before, cats, puppies, whatever. That's
really, really good plan. I like that you can add so much to these, because I know the little ones are really useful, especially if you've got a lot of plain cords. But maybe with weaves like this, or if you wanted to do the gems all the way around, if you just want lots of beads on there.
Yes, absolutely, yes. Yeah.
Then handy.
Yes.
You have got here your bobbins. Let me kind of show you-ish how these would work. So you'll get them like this, and all you have to do is pull up this top section, as we can see here. And then what you do is you'll get your cord. For example, I'll show you with the satin cord, because you will be getting satin cord with it. Let me pull it out in the right direction would help. So we will loop it around. Obviously, imagine there's plenty more cord here. Loop as much as you want in there, and you just leave yourself a little tail. And then what happens is we'll just close it up, and then you can let out as much of that cord as you want as and when, and it will obviously unspiral as you do so. The great thing with that is, not only is it going to keep attention to your pieces, it's also going to mean that you don't have all of those flyaway ends, all of those knotting possibilities, let's just say, that we do not need or want in our lives, because it will make your time go so much slower if you're constantly fiddling and messing and trying to organise everything. These are our large bobbins. For storage, of course.
Oh, definitely, definitely. And there's another advantage to these large ones. They have a little hole.
Yes, I noticed that.
And that is extremely useful. If you've got very slippery, thin cords, sometimes, and a lot of beads, sometimes above the bobbin, sometimes they can sort of push the bobbin down.
Yeah.
Or when you get to the very end of the cord, you can find that this slips off. So what you can do is you just thread the cord through the little hole first, tie a knot on the inside here, and then wind like mad. So they're good. I used to make holes in my bobbins.
Did you?
Because the ones I had from long ago didn't have that hole. Yeah. So that's very neat, and a very neat place to have them as well.
Oh, well, that's a really good little added extra. There's a lot of thought put into this, promise. These for you. Great for your storage. There's a little hole there. That's what we were talking about. Great for your storage. Great for keeping your pieces nice and neat as well. So there's your stacker. You've got 4 of those large, newer bobbins with us in total. If you've got the little bobbins, great, perfect. But maybe adding some larger bobbins to your collection would be good if you're thinking of doing really heavy bejeweled pieces, or you want to really add a new twist to your Kumihimo and maybe try out those new larger threaded materials, such as maybe your sari silk. So 4 of those. You're then getting some satin cord as well. Your red, your green, your yellow, and your aqua blue. 10 meters worth on each of these. What a lovely colour selection, actually. Really beautiful popping. Now, for those who haven't worked with satin cord for the Kumihimo, why is it kind of used so often?
Because the slipperiness of the cord makes it very easy to get good tension on your cord. And I would often recommend to people, if they're learning a very difficult new Kumihimo braid, to use satin cord. For that reason, it's easy to work with, you get good tension, and also because the resulting braid is very defined, you can see if you've made a mistake as well. So it is excellent. But not just for beginners. It makes a beautiful shiny piece. It's lovely. It really works up quickly as well.
Christmas decks would be quite nice because they've got the red and green in there. There's still time. So this is bobbing along. Your price? $75. That's a strange number at the end, isn't it? Probably because that's your should be price. Anyone want this for under £10? 40 meters worth of satin cord and your 4 large bobbins, £6.95 on the 4 bobbins alone. That is astonishing. £6.95, but with 40 meters worth of satin cord, our really high quality satin cord as well, by the way, which doesn't lose shine as much as ones I have used in the past. It's super sturdy, super strong, obviously very malleable, gorgeous high shine and a beautiful color palette. You are going loop-de-loop for these, ladies and gentlemen. There's so many of you coming in. Your names are just about to go off my screen. We knew you'd love these, and we knew at $6.95 it was going to be an extremely popular collection, and we have tried to get the best quantity we possibly can of this. I've got a couple of hundred of these. I'm so excited for you to be able to get your hands on this today. Genuinely, at $6.95 for 40 meters worth of cord and these 4 bobbins. Stunning price? Stunning price.
Stunning price. Raise the whole length of it.
Yeah.
And it's so disappointing. You won't get that with this. It is very good quality.
It really is.
And a nice fine size as well.
Yes.
I love that 1mm size.
Yeah, because a lot of the satin cords that I've bought in the past anyway have been quite a bit thicker.
2 mil, yes,
generally.
exactly. Yes, I love this one.
It's so beautiful. There's loads of your names are about to go off my screen for a second time in a moment. $6.95, even just for the bobbins, that would be an astonishing price. And actually, you know, from your point of view, Prue, if someone is starting out and maybe they've, you know, done a Kumihimo a little bit, but they've thought, well, do I really need the bobbins? Would you say it was a suggestion?
Oh, definitely. I must admit, I'd get 2 kits, so you've got 8, because you're normally doing an 8
braids. Yeah, and let's face it, we always use cord.
You do get through it, you really do, yes. Kumihimo is quite a hungry medium, I always find, for cord, for gemstones and everything, so you will get through it.
You will get through it. Why not get yourself 2 then? £6.95. Can I have a check on that again, sorry? People quadruple buying, triple buying at £6.95. Check those out. You're going to have so much fun with those, I'm sure of it. Bobbing along for just £6.95 today. Okay, I'm back with you, Prue.
Right, now we're getting to the slightly more complex part.
Okay.
So what I'm going to...
Still doable for beginners?
Still doable for beginners. And there's also an easier alternative. If beginners don't want to do this, it can be plaited. What we're going to do is split the braid and make the buttonhole.
Okay, so if I'll just point that out on this section here.
So it is a new braid structure, but it is quite a straightforward one. If you really don't want to embark on that because you're brand new, you can just plait the sides.
Okay.
Just plait them and then knot them at the end. But I'd like to show that I've got the beauty of the Designer Inspiration Show. I've got time to show things properly.
Absolutely.
But there's always a way for you know, there are always different ways of doing things. This is the way I like to do it, though.
Brilliant.
So,
you start with your disc. You would normally have your disc with the north and south in front of you.
Yeah.
For this, we're going to turn it so it's halves. So the left-hand side of the disc and the right-hand side of the disc. And I'm going to explain it in sort of top right, bottom left, etc.
Yeah.
But if people get confused, on my website I do have all the instructions and pictures with numbers and all the rest of it. So you know, there's always help at hand. And there are lots of resources on the internet anyhow. But anyhow, so we're going to start first with the left-hand side of the disc. And what we're going to do is we're going to call these the top chords and these the bottom ones. And we're going to take the top left and move it to the bottom right.
Okay.
And then take the chord right next door to it, up there.
Okay.
And then we're going to take the top right and move it to the bottom left, and take the chord right next door to it and put it in the slot we've just vacated.
Okay.
I mean, basically what we're doing is we're taking the top chords to the bottom and the bottom to the top.
Okay, I see.
And now we've got a gap here, so we're just going to close that up. And you get that quite often with Kumihimo, and that's called repositioning, because Kumihimo is all about sequences and you always want to get back to your starting point. So that's what you do on the left-hand side of the disc, and now we're going to move onto the right-hand side of the disc and do exactly the same, not mirror image, exactly the same.
Okay.
So it's going to be top left to bottom right, and then the chord next door to it will go into the slot I've just vacated, and then take the next one, top right to bottom left.
Okay.
And replace it. And then reposition the chords so I'm back in my starting positions. And that basically is the sequence. And what I've done now, because the chords on the right and the chords on the left have not crossed each other in any way, we are starting to get a little tiny gap in the middle.
So this is where the separation begins?
Yes.
Okay.
And all you do is repeat that. And for my one, I did 10 repeats.
Okay.
So I'll do a few more so you can actually see the
yeah.
sides developing.
Yeah.
And so it's just the same movement. And the best way to think about it is that you're just moving those top ones to the bottom, moving the bottom ones to the top, and then putting them back into position. So top left to bottom right. This is a challenge for me because I'm not a great person for left and right.
Me neither.
I'm really
just smiling and nodding. Yeah, it's probably right. Yeah.
So just tightening it up a bit there, and then so top right to bottom left, and bringing it up there. And so you can see now on the left-hand side we've got a little bit more. So I'm going to repeat it on the right. And you soon get into the rhythm of it. The best thing with Kumihimo is to make sure it's peaceful when you're trying to learn something new. You know, don't have everyone around you trying to talk to you. Just slowly get to grips with it, and then very quickly you'll find it just happens. The sort of muscle memory takes over, and you will just find the rhythm. I know a lot of people are concerned. You know, you don't have to try other ones if you don't want to, but there are lots of other you can do some very interesting things if you just step away from the round braid and try something different, like this.
And sometimes it is nice to step out of your comfort zone. It gets your grey matter working a different way, and it gives you a totally different look, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yes.
Just to let you know, I'm extremely low on stock with bobbing along. Let me remind you exactly what I've got. I'm in Last Chance Saloon on this. I know I said I had hundreds, but I haven't anymore. Let me see. You've got 4 sets of large bobbins, great for your larger beading and threading. Oh look, they're stackable as well, forgot about that. They stack, look. They're great for things like your larger threading materials. If you want to add gemstones onto your Kumihimo as well, it's better than the smaller ones for those. And they just slot into the previous one, which means that you can actually store these in a really, really nice manner. You've also got your yellow, your green, your aqua blue, and your beautiful red satin cord. If people checked out, I've just been told I've only got 6 left. So 6 opportunities if you want to get on the phone. 0800 644 655, because once these are gone, they're gone. $6.95 for you.
Right, I'm not going to do the full 10, but you just need to remember you need to do 10 side. And if I can show, I've done probably about 6 here. And so we're getting quite a big gap between the two cords,
Okay.
braids. So I'm going to show now how to join them together. Pull them down with your fingers, pinch them together so that they're nice and close.
Okay.
And then this again is where you do need to know the exact movements that I'm going to do, but they're just two very simple sequences. So first of all, you just move this top right on the left hand side,
Yeah.
one space.
Okay.
And you take the cord on the right hand side, on the left of the right hand side bottom, and bring it up to the top. And then the cord that you've just moved, you bring, you're crossing them over, so that's the starting of the bringing the two together.
Okay.
And you just complete it by doing a similar process with the other pairs of cords. So again, I'm going to make a space. I'm going to bring the bottom one up into that space, replace it with the top one that I've just moved. And what I end up with is a little join there.
I see.
And actually,
Okay.
this process really is part of a traditional braid called ladder braid. So people might, I think that's on one of the DVDs as well. So people might well have it there. They just take a part of it, and that's how you do that buttonhole.
I've got the DVDs coming up for you. Both of the Kumihimos, so do stay tuned for those. If you are brand new, just want to try it out, then we've got those for you.
So now we've finished that, we're going to just do a little bit more round braid. So back into your normal position of having the sort of the dots right in front of you.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's north, south or east, west at this point.
Okay.
And then just do a few sequences of round braid. The first couple will seem a little bit wrong because the cords aren't quite in the position you're used to. But once you've done 2 or 3, it'll all tighten up very neatly. So you can see they just look a bit out of place still, but as we continue with the moves, we get the familiar shape in the middle. And I'm just to give myself a little bit of joining up before I bind and finish off the braid. So I probably did a little bit more than that actually. I've only done a few. So about 1/2 centimetre I think would do the trick.
Okay.
Now, that will probably do. Right, now the next stage, to get the really neat ending that I've used there, the way I did it was I just popped a little bit of glue in the middle of the braid. So the braid is still on the disc, and just using any sort of glue, it can be the E6000 or the Hyper Cement from the website, any of those, or a little bit, it's just sealing it nicely.
Okay.
So you'll put a little bit of glue right in the middle, and then just make sure that each cord has got a little bit of glue on it.
Okay.
And I'm not showing that because
it won't dry in time.
It won't dry in time, but I have got one that I have dried already.
Oh, brilliant.
Just leave it till it's tacky, till it's just sort of finger dry but still a little bit soft. And then take it off the disc. And so it's still going to be tacky, and just squeeze it together nicely. So you've got a really neat, and of course all these glues that I've mentioned, if you use another one, do make sure that it's transparent.
Of course, yeah, dries transparent.
Yes, and you really won't see it. When you first put it on, it might look a little bit darker, but then it dries lighter.
Okay.
And so you get a really neat. So you want to put a little binding on it. So here's one I've done earlier, which has got the full 10 holes, 10 steps on the side, and this has been glued, so it's nice and it's not going to unravel or anything like that. So the next stage is to do a little whipping binding.
Okay.
I think that's what it's called.
Right.
Whipping. It's a technical term.
Oh yeah, of course.
Really.
It is, Prue. I wouldn't expect anything more from you, Prue.
So just take one cord to start with, and pull it to the point where the glue is, and then just bend it down and up and down again. So it's almost like a little bow. And I've went down in a loop, up in a loop.
Yes, I see.
And now I'm just repositioning my hands. I'm going to choose a different one, a different cord, and I'm going to wrap around that just at the point, the glued point that I want to cover. And you wrap from the free end of the cords up to the braid end. Don't do it too tightly because you might have trouble getting your cord through. So just wrap it neatly, not overlapping or anything, so you have a really nice little binding. Hold it tight with your thumb.
Okay.
It's been binding with. I'm going to put it through the upper loop, hold it loose like that, and then I'm going to take the lower loop and pull. And so what I'm doing is pulling that upper cord through the binding. Now you might need to jiggle it a little bit here because it's going to be tight. That's what you want. Oh, very tight, obviously.
Don't know your own strength.
Absolutely. But it is like this. And that's, so you do need to make sure your glue is dry before you do this, or you get in a bit of a sticky mess.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I hope I've pulled it down. So I try, keep pulling. You know, I did think I might show this on satin cord, which is more slippery. I think I've actually just tied it a little bit tight. I'm actually going to just do the binding again. And you know, this is quite likely to happen. You're quite likely to do a bit of trial and error on this. What the whole point of this is that we're going to pull that loose cord into the binding so it's hidden and it just becomes part of the tassel. So I'm just going to have another go at that. Otherwise you're going to have to just take my word for it. But I do warn you, you might need a couple of tries on this, and you might want to practice on satin cord that's nice and slippery. But if you master it, you do get a lovely, I would have one more try at this, because it's a really neat trick when it works, and quite a traditional one. So, I'm getting nervous now.
Oh, don't
I'll
worry.
find my loop.
Don't worry, you've got 5 minutes.
I'll put that through there. I haven't yet failed completely at anything on this show, but I think it's my time now.
No, you're not at all. You're not at all.
I'm pulling the cord. There we go. Right. So what's happened now? I have managed it this time. So I pulled on the lower loop.
Yes.
And that's brought the upper loop through. So pull it through.
Ah, you can see that.
There we go.
I see.
And then you end up with a very neat little binding.
I see. Lovely.
And I bet people will need a couple of goes at that till they get the hang of it.
That's okay, isn't it? That's all right.
If you want a bit of extra security, you can pop a bit of colourless glue on top of that, but that's quite a tight little binding, really.
Fab. And
then the final thing to do is just to put your tassel on. So we've now got 16 cords here, and we're going to do 2s. So take 2 together, and decide how long you want your little tassel to be.
Yeah.
And tie a knot at that point. Just a simple overhand knot, nice and tight. There we go. Then you need to thread on 2 gemstones, 2, 3, whatever you want. Just going to neaten up those ends. So, threading is not my favourite thing on live television, I must admit. There we go, one's through. And the other. And then to get a nice knot, nice tight knot at the end, just separate the cords and tie a double knot.
Are we going to be adding these gems on at the same points, or if you've done a bit of a...
I did a slight variation, and that again is how you can make the design totally your own.
Yeah, give it its own little look.
Yes, absolutely.
If you do want to make this design your own, I've actually got an alternate colourway, a secondary alternate colourway, which is going to go great if you did get that snowflake obsidian earlier on. You know that strand of bargains. Was it $7.95? That gorgeous drop of snowflake obsidian that we had. If you got their hands on that, then why not get your hands on this as well? Because it's but also because it's really, really nice. And you said that you quite liked that it was a bit of a difference on the monochrome.
Yes, exactly, yes. It's a softer look, isn't it?
Yes, it
Beautiful
is.
with your dress as well, actually.
Thank you kindly, that's what I was thinking. If we were to work these, because again, they're the same sizes that we got in the kit, so it's a perfect alternate colourway. You've got the 40 by 30 on the cab, you've got 4mm on the snowflake obsidian, and you've got 80 carats worth of the 6mm black agate. So these are the same sizes as the ones in your kit. If you were to work with these, creating this look or a similar look, Which one of the cords from the kit would you use? 2 cords.
Oh, 2 cords. I think I'd go quite bright. I think
Would
I
you?
might sort of...
Oh,
something
those
like
2.
that.
From that kit, which, by the way, if everybody checked out, people would be disappointed at this moment in time. They go beautifully. It makes it pop a little bit, doesn't it?
Oh, it does. But the great thing is, if you did something, you could do it completely different. You could go a little bit more sort of sombre, maybe. Picking up with the grey on the snowflake obsidian. And you get a totally different look.
You could make it quite masculine, actually, with certain colours, couldn't you? Because of the effect of these.
Yes.
They are beautiful. In fact, I love the idea. How many different colours did you use in this one?
On that one, I've got 6 different colours.
6 different colours?
Yes.
But imagine, with all those beautiful different colours, with this as the cab, if I kind of... I think that's really pretty. It's kind of understated again, isn't it? In a different way to this.
Yes.
Really pretty. So I'm giving you an alternate colourway. It's called Black Beauty. And you've got snowflake obsidian in there, and you've got that agate. It's going to be perfect for these designs because, again, if you've got that kit, just adding this is going to give you a little bit more of kind of a look in a way, a bit more of a range.
Yes, takes it in a completely different direction. Yes, because you're moving away from the pastels and things. Yes. Yeah. And with all the Eslon, you might as well.
Absolutely, because as we said, you've got 70 metres on each of those Eslon from the kit, 70 metres on each of those 7 reels. So you probably are going to want quite a few gemstones, aren't you?
Yes.
And why wouldn't you get your hands on this? We already know that snowflake obsidian is gorgeous. We had that strand on earlier for $7.95 and it was absolutely beautiful. I'm now bringing you a cab of snowflake obsidian, a strand of snowflake obsidian, and a beautiful black agate strand for... Told you it was a bargain. $6.95 for the cab and for those 2 strands. I told you it was a bargain. I'm not going to let you down. What do you think of that price?
Well, it's fabulous, isn't it? I mean, what a lovely Christmas present you could make for someone like that. And
beautiful. And I really do like the idea of you using this with the kit, just giving it a completely different feel. Okay, obviously there is loads of you coming in, multi-buyers on this, $6.95 for you today. If you're on the phone lines, we'll be with you as quickly as we can. 0800 644 655. It's an absolute bargain. If you did get that stunning all by myself strand of your snowflake obsidian, I'm sorry, both of the men in the gallery just started singing all by myself at the same time, sort of in harmony, but they were both kind of out of tune a little bit. It was an emotional time for us all. If you did get that singular strand of all by myself snowflake obsidian in the drops for $7.95, then add this to that collection, because not only are you working with the same gemstone predominantly, but also it's a complete bargain, isn't it? $6.95 for you. Okay, Prue, so we've added on the gemstones.
There's just only one very tiny thing to do.
Yeah, how are we going to finish it off to give it that professional finish?
Right, to give it the professional finish, so we've done a double knot, triple knot, whatever you want to do there. Then you need to trim it very close. Now, if you have the thread burner, obviously you can use that.
Exactly,
and that is everybody loves to use that.
Oh,
but if you don't have that, just trim it very close. And then you have 2 options there. You can either melt those in and they will just retreat into the knot, or you can seal it with some sort of glue. Again, the high precision nib on the hyper cement's really good for that.
Yeah.
To be honest, a dab of clear nail varnish as well will do the trick. It depends what you've got. And just repeat for everyone, and then you've got your little tassel.
And that is how we create this stunning, stunning lariat style Kumihimo necklace. Prue, it is beautiful. We've had so many messages in. We've had so many, in fact, we can't actually get them all in at this moment in time. We've had loads of questions for Prue, which is fab, and I promise we will be answering those very, very soon. I'll try and get a couple answered kind of after the break throughout, but also in the second DI. So do stay where you are. We will get to those. Thank you, Prue, for those. We're going to be back with Prue for something a little bit golden special.
Yes, quite different, I think, quite different.
It really is. It's a totally different look, which you're going to love. After the break, I've got some price slashes, so you may as well stay tuned. Hello everybody, it's Becky. Just a quick message to say I've been here a year now and I really feel like part of the family, and that is due in no small part to you guys at home. So to all of you and my reindeer family, Happy Christmas!
Get creating stunning designs in no time at all with this brilliant introduction to Kumihimo DVD with guest designer Sarah Elvin. These easy-to-follow steps on this DVD will make you feel like you have your own personal tutor and will show you the best techniques to get you started with this amazing medium. To get your hands on a copy of this fantastic DVD, contact our call centre on 0800 644 655. Get creative with JewelleryMaker.
Garnets are a very large family of gemstones. This gemstone family can be split into two types. Your first type being your pyrospites, which include your almandine and your pyrope garnets. These are often your red and your brown hues. And again, this family actually contains aluminium within its chemical structure. The second group is your granite, and these contain the more coloured varieties of garnets, and these are your calcium mineral in the chemical composition. Garnets themselves are actually a very, very well-known gemstone, instantly recognisable for their brown-red hues, and often used throughout history in jewellery pieces as well. They're very hard-wearing, which makes them great for use in jewellery, and again, they are a January's birthstone as well. And birthstones are always a favourite amongst jewellery makers.
No one did Christmas quite as lavishly as the Victorians. Gemma Crowe invites you to her Christmas-themed workshop that will embrace the Victorian era. Join Gemma for a day of festive jewellery to glam up your Christmas wardrobe. Feel free to dress for the occasion. Also included in this amazing workshop is a Christmas-style buffet and refreshments, use of all relevant tools, a tour of the studios, a visit to the Gemporia Museum, and a chance to visit the JewelleryMaker shop. Book your place now. For more information, contact the call centre on 0800 644 655.
Happy, happy, happy.
Are you sure about that, Vix?
Oh, Hatty Christmas!
Hello everybody, welcome back to Designer Inspiration. Thank you for joining me. We have had so many messages in for this wonderful lady. We will answer them soon. It is the lovely Prue. Hi Prue.
Hi.
Prue, can I be really annoying and ask, can we have a sneaky peeky please of one of your designs that you're going to be showing later?
My favourite.
Yeah, go on. Yeah, go on. Yeah. Thank you so much. This is spectacular. It's from my second designer inspiration in about half an hour. Have a look. It's beautiful. Why is this one your favourite apart from the obvious?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it is quite simple, obviously, but it just really appeals to me. It does look like something that, oh, I don't know, an Etruscan princess would have worn. You know, it just has that really special look. Though the little sort of the nuggety look of the little gold beads, I think, gives it a very, very special look.
And really
I loved working with them.
I can tell you that kit again will be under £35 for you today. So all of this coming up for you in the second DI. Beautiful, dramatic, dynamic strand here for you. Oh, I just think you're going to love it. I love it because it's Mother Nature showing us how she forms genuine gemstones. Multicoloured onyx I have here for you in this strand. It is spectacular in the sense that you've got the banding in here, which is Mother Nature with different elements taken in every occasion, every step in the formation process, which give you beautiful, beautiful effect. You've got pieces in this which have a transparency, depth and feel to them, but some relatively opaque in some of those bands, literally just with fractions of difference, changing with all of those minerals. It's a really beautiful, gentle colour tone to this, isn't it? It's going to actually be perfect no matter what time of year because it is wonderfully, wonderfully seasonal. Your price point on this should be £14.95. It would be lovely as a statement piece, and I would say even if you were to make this into a statement piece, you could see using every single one. Price to just £7.95 for this goes to show the profit you can have the opportunity to make on this. What would you do with these? Would you use them together or individually, Prue?
Well, just looking at them there, I think they could work quite well on the end of a lariat, actually.
Lovely.
If you're really not into Kumihimo, it could be chain or something else, or leather cord, but it would work really well on the design I showed, with just as that first bead that I used, have one of those elongated drops.
Good.
Could be quite
because
unusual.
Obviously it would stop the piece from slipping.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, but give it a really nice feel.
Right, aren't they?
Really are, yeah. £7.95. I've got 145 carats worth here. If you love seeing how Mother Nature uses her form, how she adds all different effects, different depths, different looks to every single piece and every single gemstone, then realistically you can't get much better than this beautiful unisex strand of multicoloured onyx. Should have been £15. It's only £7.95 today. Treat yourself. £7.95. Oh my goodness. I'll be completely honest with you. I was talking to Helena on Wednesday, and I was having a chat with her, and I was saying that I haven't seen any opal that actually displays a decent amount of opalescence in a really long time. I'm talking months, because she's been away on the Late Show for 2 months now, and it hasn't been since around that time that I've seen any. I've now had to change that statement because this has got it. It is beautiful fire opal. Oh, it's gorgeous. The clearest ones in here, the clear ones, are displaying opalescence to me. Now, I know you can't see it in these lights because they are so intense. We know that opalescence is often lost. I'm not getting the pin fire, but I am getting that opalescence, that gorgeous merge of kind of almost running through these, especially in the clearest ones. Now, this is your fire opal. It's from Mexico. You can get fire opal from a couple of places, Mexico being the most renowned, the most well known. When we do get these in Mexico, they are taken, you don't sort of dig into the ground for them as you might expect most mines. It's almost like a long sort of meandering walkway with 50-metre up cliffs, and that's where we actually get these from really hot, ancient, volcanic regions in Mexico, which is why you get this beautiful, beautiful fire-like tone, which I love. 50 carats worth of the... Look at that. It has always been £17.95, which actually for fire opal, which we haven't seen of this quality recently, we've definitely not seen of this size, I haven't, which is why I'm getting the chance to see areas of opalescence, because some of these are around 9mm. So £17.95 is great, but if I could take a £5 off, that's going to make it better, isn't it? How about if I could take off £7? It's only £10.95. Prue, what do you think of fire opal?
Oh, I love all opals.
Me
Absolutely
too.
love all opals. But I love the warmth of that one, particularly the fire opal. It's beautiful.
It is spectacular, isn't it?
Yeah.
With these.
I think I'd probably go quite neutral.
Yeah.
Because I think I wouldn't want any other colours to fight with those. I think there are enough colours there, and I think they do all the talking really. So I think I'd go with something relatively neutral.
I absolutely agree with that, because they do kind of talk for themselves in a way, don't they?
Yeah.
Hello everybody, getting your hands on this, you lovely opal lovers. At £10.95, it's fab that you're able to get this amount. I've got to say though, I'm in my last chance saloon now, because this is obviously extremely popular, especially when we've just taken £7 off it. Normally you'll expect to see a £7 drop on kits, but individual strands, it really is something special. So do treat yourself to these today. And today it's just £10.95. Stunning price. It really is wonderful. 50 carats worth we have here. Z, are you 18? Is your code on this today at £10.95 for you. Plenty of you, hello multi-buyers, are you okay? Just to let you know, I'm in my teens on this now, I've just been made aware. Once everybody checks out, I'll be heading towards my single figures. Please do get your hands on it. I'll have 7 left once you lot check out, so please do treat yourself. If you want to get your hands on a bargain, especially opal, we tend not to price slash by this amount, do we? Normally you're expecting probably 3 pounds off, not 7. So do get that if you wish. My birthstone. Yes, Scott. Liam's bobbed off somewhere. Liam's filming his Christmas VT. We're doing Christmas theme film VT. So I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but I have. We did ours yesterday, didn't we, team? Yeah. Yeah. Pete gave us a little bit of inside, an example yesterday of his role. Can you give me a little bit of yours, please, Ryan? Because you were directing yesterday at this point. Just give us a little hint, might give people a little clue at home of your acting role in our Christmas VT.
I was very tall.
I was very tall. Ooh, if that's not a giveaway, I don't know what is.
What's not a giveaway?
Now, have a little look at this beautiful, beautiful amethyst. My deep, rich purple. Now, I need to let you know I'm already in Last Chance Saloon on this. To be honest, that's why I'm in Last Chance Saloon on it already. It's from one of the #1 locations of Africa that you would ever want to get amethyst from. Africa is the go-to location a lot of the time. At £9.95, of course, I'm already in Last Chance Saloon. At £6.95, though, this is going to go in minutes. Do treat yourself. Oh my goodness, look at the code. PRU91. If that's not reason to get your hands on it, what is? What do you think of this, Peru?
Well, I wish you'd chosen something a bit more expensive, really.
To have your name on. Hey, it goes with what you're wearing as well.
Oh yes, definitely.
Oh, this really is for you. It really is. £6.95. Not many left now at all. It's a total bargain. You know that. This is amethyst from Africa, and it's totally natural, by the way. £6.95. Congratulations, everybody. Ooh, how's about on black matte? So it says that my box 8 is on the black mat, so I presume I'm selling fibres? Hair's dreams, as if by magic. Now, this is a Kumihimo set. It's going to be price slashed. It may well throw some people off the fact that this says Halloween, but that's already going to show you that we're going to do a great price slash, but also it will show you that these actually aren't just Halloweeny, they can go all year round. Mr. Fulcher, do you have a slide for me to do with these? Theo. Let's have a look. All right, rad. So, Theo Fennell is a British jewellery designer, very, very known British jewellery designer, and he works with charms very much like what you're seeing on your screen now, and very similar to what I'm showing. So there's kind of an apple with a bite taken out of it. You've got a turtle on one as well. Now, one of his most recognised designs, he uses lots of insects in his pieces and also lots of skulls. Now, you can see that you could create those quite easily, couldn't you? You can see that these types of charms will go into that kind of effect. It will give you a kind of a year-round look, because let's face it, there is a lot of the kind of almost gothica, almost steampunk is massive at the moment, isn't it? And lots of these pieces will fit into that for you. So we've got all your charms there. These are the ones that I'm showing you. I've got spiders in here too. I've got little hands in there as well, which sounds really strange. Come here, you. Little hands. I've got sort of skeletal-like hands in there as well. So lots and lots of different pieces in here. You've also your Kumihimo cord ends. Your cord end sizes, I'm talking 8mm, 6mm. 4mm and 3mm. You're going to get 4 pairs. You're going to get 4 of the 3 and the 4mm, so you get plenty on there, as well as cord ends, etc. All of these you're getting, and you're getting all of these spaces as well as all of these gemstones too. Everything you can see on screen now you will be getting. Your price point is just £21.95 for you today. Price slash. Do that again. That was good. I've got a massive price slash just taken place on that. You've got these beautiful charms, a massive amount. Got all these gemstones. All of those huge gems. What do you think of this collection at £21.95, Prue?
Well, you know, you can never have too many Kumihimo findings, really, because so often when you start working on something, when you have an idea of how you're going to finish it off, when you get to the end, you realise your braids turned out a little bit differently.
You're absolutely right.
You know, you do need variety. I love those colours as well, and you know, those sort of shapes work so well in Kumihimo. They snuggle up together like a sort of mosaic, really, in Kumihimo.
They really do, don't they? I'm just thinking, with some of these spaces, could we do a similar look to this?
Yes, easily. Yes, yes. Definitely.
And a little bit of a different look, because obviously you've got the texture on this one, haven't you? Plenty of you coming in for this today, £21.95. That is a stunning price drop of... Hang on. £12. Were you keeping me in suspense then to make me look like a pure muppet? A little bit. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. £12 price saving on that. So, now is going to be so popular. Why do people look? You think, Prue, your face has just lit up with excitement. Why do people love these so much?
Because of the regularity of them, and because the amount you get. So as I said earlier, Kumihimo.
That's right, Prue.
And the way they just leap out of the tube at you.
There's so many. You take the top off and they explode out you. Oh, yes, continue, Prue.
So 2 weeks ago, I did a show that was all metal seed beads, and they're just brilliant because you can get such a clean look with them because of that regularity.
Yes, absolutely.
And they really stretch out your gemstones as well. So, with Kumihimo, you can have them sort of banded, so you have a little bit of whatever colour you've got, silver, then you might have some gemstones, then you might have the gold, different coloured gemstones, all braided into a beautiful rope.
And it's quite important actually to note the hole size on these. Quite large actually for the size of the
It is.
bead, isn't it?
Yes, no it is. So they're really easy to thread. And they're just so versatile, really. They give a brilliant look to things.
They really do. I think they're absolutely beautiful. 3mm they are, but you can see the size on this. It's a presumption that you could get Eslon thread through there.
Oh yes, easily.
Quite easily.
Yes.
What else could we get through there? Could you get a couple of Eslons
Oh
through?
yes, definitely, yes. So that gives you flexibility for doing different things. Well, you'll be able to get all your normal threading materials very easily through it. Yeah, I don't think on that you can. Sorry, what size did you say the hole was on those?
Well, the actual gemstone's around 3mm, so to me it's looking around 1.5mm.
Yeah, you can always give that a try.
You really could. We've only got 28 of these left. This is a small selection. Everyone who's already bought it is happy to get it at that price point, but actually it's going down serious £19.95 for that. You've got the gold and you've got the silver. Peter, brother Pete, can you hand me that? Can you hand me that, please? Oh, Tom Fortune, do you not know why he's my brother Pete? Because he came on screen with me once and we got loads of messages asking if we were related because we look so similar. Can you see that now? Thank you, Tom. But look, we've actually used beads similar to this on this design. Can you see all of these here? So you could actually create this look. Loads, you've got plenty of these to work with. You could definitely create this look because I only got out a really, really small portion for you. Pete, if I poured these all out, would it kind of irritate you a little bit? Be honest.
This is a trick.
Is this That's how much my brother Pete trusts me. He just goes, is this a trick question? Can I pull these all out? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, cool. Let me show you. I've only got 3 left. I'll tell you what, I'll do half, okay? Look at that. Oh, that's not even half. Hang on, I'm still going. That's half. That's half of 1 tube, and you're getting 2 tubes. Try saying that with a sweet in your mouth. Do treat yourself to those, because they're fab. Okay, another price slash on this one. I love this gemstone strand because it's clear quartz, which is already fab. You know I love a clear quartz because I think whatever you pair clear quartz with, clear quartz almost intensifies it, jazzes it up. It makes it more powerful and poppy, doesn't it? But I love this because it's got elements of frosting, elements of clear. It's got elements, not elephants. It's got elements of round and elements of facet. You'll know what I mean when you see them. Take a little look. These are your frosted quartz rounds. So can you see you've got the frosting in the majority of the areas. Dots really, aren't they? Those are actually cut into it, so they're essentially a facet. So that means that it's not, when you touch it, it doesn't feel like a perfect round. It feels like a perfect round that has got just the occasional facet on those beautiful cut-out windows. Do you want to see if this still works as the chameleon of all gemstones? Let's have a little look, shall we? What about with that fire opal you all got? Yeah, it still works, doesn't it? You still get that colour banding through every single one of these. And it's actually quite nice because it's almost diluted in the frosted area, but then it's more intensified in those faceted areas, isn't it? It's a gorgeous gemstone. I am going to price slash it. You should be price. It's £10.95. Liam's back. How was your filming, Liam? He went like this. It was fun. Okay. It should be. He said, I'll let the audience decide. Look out for that VT coming to your screens very soon. £10.95 should be priced, but today, for 240 carats worth of your frosted quartz in the 10 clear rounds, it's just £8.95 for you today. That is last chance price slash though. We won't be price slashing up, price dropping it any lower than that. It's £8.95. That is the lowest possible price we can go to on this, because if you think about it, so many kind of effects have been created on this. You've had to make a perfect round, but then facet these 8 spots perfectly around these. And don't forget, this isn't a shape that our lapidress will be used to creating. Of course, it's like with any job, isn't it? Sometimes when you're doing certain jobs or certain tasks or chores around the house, the first time you do them, you have to really focus, but then it almost becomes routine. It's like that with lapidress, you know, if they're cutting the same sort of gemstones time and time again, then that'll happen. But with this isn't a gemstone that we create this look for often, is it? It's not a facet or a look that we do that often. So it's a lot of work that goes into these. For just £8.95, it's a fab price. Treat yourself, why not? It's a fab beauty. That's your last price slash for this moment in time. But now I have got your kits. Now, how was this one to work with?
Lovely. When I first opened it, because it's because it's all seed beads, tiny seed beads, you sort of think, oh, this is very small. And then once I got it open and started looking at what was in there and thinking about how it could be used, I realised that it was a real treasure, basically. I love the neutral colours. You know, sometimes neutral doesn't come out of the bag with a big bang, doesn't it,
No,
really?
I know what you mean, actually.
But the neutral colours are the sort of things that you can wear with anything, you can give to anyone. I loved it, absolutely loved it.
I'm glad that you had fun, and you did manage to create one of your favourite pieces you've made for JewelleryMaker.
Yes, I liked so much.
I don't think I did, you know.
It's funny, really, with jewellery designing, just sometimes something just really works for you, and that one did. I didn't expect it when I was working on it, and then as I got towards the end, I thought, this is really lovely.
Is this the type of thing that you would wear?
Yeah,
because
yes,
obviously,
definitely, yes.
Well, actually, it's a good question. Would you wear everything that you always make, or are you one of the? Because I know some people kind of just make for themselves, but are you trying to make for a wider audience?
I do make for a wider audience, but I think my own personal taste will always come into it, because those are the things you enjoy making. Absolutely. Because you feel for them, really.
You absolutely
Yes, that's
do.
definitely something I would wear. It's very comfortable to wear. It just sits neatly at your neck. You know, whatever the neckline you're wearing, it's going to look good with. So.
It really is, and you're going to get the chance to create this look with this kit and many, many more. So, I have got for you a huge selection of these gold flash copper e-coated faceted tubes. We have got the e-coating. If you're not sure what e-coating is, it essentially means that even if you have sensitive skin, they've got a coating, so you shouldn't have such an effect on them. 2 mil these are. You're getting 395 of these, and those are what we've used to create these lovely areas on that neckline piece of just a little bit of a flash of interest. There's loads there. Let me get them all out. There we go. Look at the amount. You're getting a vast amount. You didn't use them all on this necklace.
No, I used them quite heavily in the next necklace as well. I love them, so I did use them quite fully. You could really spread them out, use them as spaces, whatever, but I loved them so much I really wanted to see a lot of them.
And it's nice that you've been able to do that. And again, decent size, full cut, only 2 mil. Good size drill hole on those ones too. I've already promised you this is going to be under £35, haven't I? So, we've got all of those. I've then got your Eslon, and I've got to say, for me, this Eslon is just so beautiful as a collection. When I was saying before that we often did Eslon and we only did it in the packs of 3 of kind of nice corresponding coordinating colours, didn't we? I've got 5 in this pack for you, and they're just so exquisite. Take a look. You've got your mustard tone, you've got your chocolate, you've got almost a caramel tone, you've got a delicate tan, and then we've almost got a blush on different colours here. I've definitely got 5 different colours, yeah? So we're getting all of those colours in here. And then bringing to you your clasps. So I've got in your clasps, these are the 10 mil fold overs. These have been extraordinarily popular, they really have. You've generally only seen these in kits. They've only sold them together separately once or twice, but it's a real big mixture of different sizes. The thing with that is you are able to create symmetrical clasp pieces. Because if you've not seen these, we will talk you through them in a little bit, but essentially they've got the 2 flattened sides with the little loops, almost like a mini handbag, isn't it, at the top? But then you've got the teeth, which will be closed up together to hold your braid in place. On the little loop that you can see here, that's where you could add a clasp, or you could even add that onto a chain, and that could be your bail drop if you wished. So you've got 10 of those. They're super duper sturdy. They really, really are. We'll talk to you a bit about those later. And of course, they correspond with those lovely spaces too. I've then got your gemstones. They are absolutely beautiful. Our other designer inspiration was quite big and bold and chunky. We've gone a little bit more delicate with the gemstones on this, and it just works really well, I think. You've got 20 carats worth of your 3 mil grey agate. Really beautiful high shine because it has actually been faceted. You're then getting your 4 mil, the centre there, your peridot. You've got 35 carats there, and then again at the end you've got your smoky quartz. Those are 2 mil. Wow. 2 mil faceted. Can you even imagine the work that goes into that? Because it's a 2 mil gemstone anyway. And the lapidus was just 0.5 mil out on one side. That's going to be so obvious because essentially it's going to take up a whole quarter of the gemstone itself. So not only do you need that work to put into it, you're then going to facet it as well. It's just, oh wow. 7 carats worth on that strand too. So let me reiterate exactly what we're getting. You were getting 10 of your clasps. How did you find these clasps, Prue?
They're brilliant. I mean, I have come across similar things on the market in the past that are robust. So I haven't used anything like this before I've used them at JewelleryMaker. Yeah. I found them very, very strong. When I first looked at them, I thought, oh, they're going to be difficult to close. They're not, actually. They're very easy to close. Yeah. And they really grip the cords firmly. So I was very impressed by them.
Oh, good. We're glad you liked them. There's 10 of them here. You are definitely getting 5 of those wonderful cords, 70 metres on each. You've got around 395 of these faceted spacers. And you're getting those 3 strands. Gorgeous peridot, smoky quartz and a grey agate. Your price point for all of this today. Rustic Beauties at just £27.95 for you today. You have got 70 metres worth on each of these 5 colours. 10 of those lovely gold clasps which work beautifully with those faceted spacers, and you've got those 3 strands too. £27.95 for you on your Rustic Beauties. Do you like that price point?
Very, very much, very much. And I think with that S on as well, it's such great neutral colours. You use them so much with other things. Yeah. They're very good for your stash, definitely.
The fire opal that we had on earlier, wasn't it? Really beautiful.
Oh, yes.
Really nice. £27.95 for you today. I'm coming over to you now, Prue. With me brew. Oh, Becky going over to Prue with a brew. That feels nice. Now, Prue, this collection, I've completely left your other necklace over there. I will bring it back. You've got some that are cord focused and some that are gemstone focused.
Yes. And that's what I wanted to do, to show you can take a kit like this in different directions. Yes. And if you decide to go very heavy on the gemstones in a couple of pieces, as I did, then you've still got all that cord to do other things with. Yes. Or you can spread them out more. So it's a very, very flexible kit, and that's what you want really with jewellery making. You know, it's nice to be able to see what I've made with it, but I think when people get their kits...
Yeah, I've got half of my stock gone on this right now at £27.95. It's no surprise really, is it? It's an absolute bargain. I love how you've done those little charms just dropping from there.
Just a bit of fun, just a bit of a focal point on the bracelet like that, yes.
It's really, really wonderful. And again, using those spacers, and it does really make your gemstones go further, doesn't it?
Definitely.
Oh my goodness, I didn't see this one last time. Where was this hidden? I bet someone was taking a photo of it. I didn't see this before. Oh, wow.
Again, quite subtle, isn't it? But beautiful.
Oh, subtle glamour, really, isn't it? It's absolutely exquisite. It's a beautiful collection. I love how it works as a range.
Yes, it does.
It really does. Now, where are we going to be starting, Prue?
Well, you'd think I'd want to show you how to make the necklace I like best. That is actually so easy, I can tell you how to make it in 5 minutes.
Oh, brilliant.
But I'm actually going to tell you how to make a different one.
Okay, fab.
And if we have time at the end, as I say, all I need is 5 minutes to tell you, because it's very, very straightforward.
Okay, fab.
But in the necklace in the middle, there are some more techniques that I think people will find interesting, and give them some ideas for playing around with the kit, really.
Oh, I just think it's really beautiful. It's nice that you've got the flat braid with the circular as well.
Yes, and I'll be showing how you change from one to another, which is a lot of people think once you stick. Well, exactly. A lot of people start with one, think they've got to stick with it. No. You can, as long as you've got the same number of cords, you can do all sorts of interesting things.
Brilliant. Now, as we said, if you've just tuned in, we don't have any of the Kumihimo boards today, I'm afraid to say. We are ordering them, and we do want them back in stock soon, of course. But I do have some goodies coming up, including cord ends alternative colourways and DVDs to get you on your way as well in the next sort of hour or so. So stay exactly where you are. Okay, Prue, where are we starting?
Right, we're going to start with learning a new braid. Well, not a brand new braid. I have shown this before. This is half round braid. It's sometimes called half flat braid, and it will have a very interesting Japanese name that
You can't pronounce?
I can't pronounce, no. So, and generally, I find it's best to stick to some sort of English description, because some of the Japanese names actually change. So that can be really confusing if you master one and then find. Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
so half round.
Half round.
Got it.
Each side of the braid is slightly rounded.
Brilliant.
And it's a really useful braid because it curves very nicely. It's quite easy to learn, and you can get some pretty designs in the middle of it.
Fab.
So the starting point again is your Kumihimo disc, and again this braid starts in the same place as round braid with your cords on either side of the dots.
Okay.
For this one again I've used 2 lengths of cord in each slot.
Lovely.
And the reason for that is that was the size of braid I wanted to use, and that's the great thing about Eslon, that if you wanted a little bit fatter, the braid a little bit fatter, just add in another strand. They don't even have to be added in equally. You can add in have 2 in some slots and 1 in another, as long as they're kind of symmetrical on the disc. It'll work out beautifully to play with it.
Great.
Now for this one I've actually decided to have a bit of brown as well, the little sort of brown. It's almost a chevron design really in it, and if you want to have that, you need to have the brown cord situated on looking at the east and west dots on the upper slot of each dot, and that will give you the little blob in the middle.
Got you.
If you wanted to have another colour next door to that in the middle of the braid, then it's these 2, so you could put another colour there. So that's the placement of it.
Okay.
So half round braid. Again, you know, you can either learn it through numbers or by trying to get a feel for it. On some other shows I've done it by numbers, so this time I'm going to do it a little bit more. So with all braids we have a starting position, and what we're going to do with this one is we're going to look at the top, take the top cords first, and we're going to take the top left cord and bring it across and to the side.
Yeah.
Below the cords at the side on the east, and slot it in. Then we're going to take the top right cord and move it across the braid and to the other side, to the west, and below the dots there. So again, it's symmetrical. You're crossing those 2 over.
Yeah.
Symmetrical again, because we're going to work on the bottom cords now. We're going to take bottom left again, and this time we're going to move them right. Again, we're crossing over and moving up.
Okay.
So you can see that you start to, if you just give yourself a chance to just quietly work at it, you really start to feel the symmetry of it, and it will work out quite. You'll get used to it quite quickly.
Okay.
Now all the cords are grouped at the sides. We want to get them back into their starting positions. So we're going to start with the dots, the cords we haven't moved yet, so they're still positioned on either side of the east and west dots. We're going to take the upper one, and this time we're not going to cross it over, we're just going to bring it to the bottom.
Okay.
And symmetry, we take the other one and just bring it to the bottom.
Yep.
So they're just 2 moved so far. We've got this one here below the east dot, and again we're going to just take it up to the top and take the one below the west dot up to the top. And so now we're very nearly back to the starting position. These 2 are just a little bit far apart, so just with the other braid it's a matter of repositioning back into where we were, using both cords at the same time. And what you might notice is that we are back in the starting positions, but the brown cords have moved to the bottom now.
I see.
If we repeat all those moves, those brown cords will go back. So it's one whole set of moves like that is one sequence. In this particular braid, the cords do change, but after the second sequence, they're back in position.
Okay.
So I'll just repeat that at a little bit more speed.
So across to do wings.
Absolutely. Wings, yes,
Yeah,
they do
they
look
do,
like
don't
wings.
they?
And if you're always thinking there's going to be some symmetry to this design and I need to get back to my starting position, it does help you to know which direction you're going in.
Yeah.
And so now here we are back with the brown cords in the positions that we started
when
them.
you started
Absolutely,
with them. Okay.
Yes. And so that basically is the sequence for half round braid.
That's quite handy actually having those brown ones in, because you know where they should be ending up, so you
point. And I think a lot of braids, if you start, when you first do them, if you have cords in different colours in different places, it is a little bit of a help.
Oh,
yes,
that's good.
Exactly.
Fab.
And then, as you can see, from under the disc,
oh, it's almost a little heart shape, isn't
well,
it?
exactly.
That's
if you do this
cute.
braid with satin cord, where you get much more definition, it looks exactly like a heart.
Oh, that's
heart.
adorable.
So if you do it in black with red in those two positions, you do get very Valentine's Day.
Oh, how perfect. Oh, lovely.
Right. So for this necklace, I did, and I should actually say how much cord you need. That's what I didn't say at the beginning.
Okay, good.
We're going to use meters here, so we're going to use, we need 12 cords of 1 meter of the gold and 4 cords of 1 meter of the brown, and we're having 2 in each slot. So that gives gold.
Okay, so.
And so that'll give you the right length of necklace.
Fab.
And if you continue doing this particular braid structure till you get the length of necklace, the side of the necklace that you want. And I've done about 15 centimetres there, I think. That's the point at which you adjust your necklace to decide if you want it longer or shorter. It's at this point you need to make that decision, because once you've done your beading, you need to make it the same size on the other side.
Right,
so this is decision time now.
Now it's crunch time.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Right. The next thing I'm going to show is how we move to back to round braid. But I also want to do something else. Sometimes when you're beading with, braiding with beads that have quite rounded sides, so small gemstones like these have very round sides, and sometimes they don't sit very neatly in the middle of the braid. So what you can do is have an extra cord or cords in the middle to give the braid a bit of structure. And so that's a core, basically.
Okay.
So what I want to do with this is I want to take out 1 cord from each slot and use that as the 8 cords.
I see. Okay.
And I actually want the brown ones in the middle, so that they're hidden, because I think it just would look neater like that.
Okay.
So I'm taking the brown ones off and I'm just holding them under my thumb. And then in each slot I want to move, well, in these two I'm just going to move these 2 gold ones to the empty slot, one of them to the empty slot, and here. They can get a little twisted, so just make sure if they're a little twisted that you've untwisted them, so that will give you a neater start to the braid.
Yeah.
So, and then we're going to one from here, from each of the other slots. There we go, and I'm just trapping them under my thumb for now.
Yeah.
There we go. Just make sure I've got beads everywhere, that's right. Right, so this is the last one to come out. There we go. Right, so now I've got 8 cords out and I've got 8 cords in the slots.
Okay, yeah.
Just for convenience, keep them under control.
Okay.
That's not essential, it does just keep them under control.
Yeah.
I now need to make sure that these stay in the middle of the braid. So the way I'm going to do that is just hold it on the dot at the bottom, and then I'm going to braid. So I'm going to go normal round braid, top down. I just need to be careful that I keep a hold on that, bottom up. And now, when I turn round, do my turn, I'm going to move the core to that same position. So wherever it is, however I'm holding the disc, I'm holding it over the dot that is closest to me, regardless of the number or the original position. Continue to do that normal round braid. I'm making sure each time that the top down move happens on one side of these cords, and the bottom up happens on the other side.
Okay.
And so often with Kumihimo, the first few moves look a little bit messy, but that's just because the cords are settling down. And as you move on round, so again I've moved it round, top down, bottom up, and I want 8 moves, because that means that every cord has then been moved and they're all in the right positions to start my beading. I want to thread the gemstones on.
And what you need to do, and again, this is the planning of Kumihimo, and the planning of how you put the beads on the cord is what determines the design, really. So for this particular design, on 4 opposite cords, you're going to have this combination. And this is, you've got 10 of the grey agate, 25 of the peridot, which I absolutely adored, I have to say. I love them all, but I really did like those. They're so sweet. And another 10 of the grey agate. So you need to have that threaded onto 4 cords, and they will be opposite. You need to have 45 of the spacer beads.
The spacers, fab.
They look much smaller, but they work.
Now, we have got an alternate colourway, and as we're talking about the gemstones, I'll give you that opportunity to own them now, especially as once everybody checks out, I'll only have about 7, sorry, of that kit left. So, alternate colourway coming for you now. I have got 3 beautiful strands. Now, if I show you these, what kind of different appeal do you think this will offer?
Oh, I think that's that's very contemporary, isn't it? I thought it was going to be classic, and then much younger look there, basically. Don't you?
Yes, I can see. It's kind of fresh, it's vibrant, it's fun, it's funky, it's not afraid, is it? It's kind of waspy colours, isn't it? Don't know if that's a good thing, but it's a thing. You have got 10 carats.
Bees maybe.
Bees maybe. Bees are a bit more approachable, aren't they? Really, they're more approachable. Wasps are too angry. Bees are kind of fluffy and cute, aren't they? Yeah. Pardon?
You stroke them.
How many, have you ever stroked a bee?
Yeah.
Have you? Why?
I'd like to see that.
I don't know why. Ryan keeps saying, you know, when you stroke them, but continue to show me what he meant. Like, this is how you do it. Look at that. Anyway, you have got your faceted yellow agate 2 mil on those ones. So obviously we've got those small gems on yours as well that we've used. So we can use these ones instead if we wished. You have then got your 3 mil in the clear quartz, which are fantastic. Clear quartz with Kumihimo. Obviously if we're beading this on,
you get the colour shining through. Fabulous. And and it looks amazing. Yes.
Fab. And especially due to the fact that these are quite small, so I suppose the colour...
To make the cord look sparkly, basically. You can either have them quite spread out, you'd have them on 2 opposite cords, or you can have them, you know, heavily beaded, in which case you'd have them on all 8 cords.
Oh, I think that's... Oh, yes. Can you imagine? And obviously this will be more of the subtle colour because it's not through the centre, but it gives you an idea. It really picks it up, doesn't it? Yes. You've also got your black strand of your agate 4 mil, 40 carats worth on there too. This is called Exotic Beauty. It's obviously a beautiful bee, is what we meant. $8.95 for 3 strands here. What do you think of that?
Well, I think just the work that's involved in those tiny ones is unbelievable. Yes, no,
I
it's a
can't
fabulous
even.
price.
I always think this when I'm looking at really small gemstones like this, faceted gemstones. I can't even kind of cut up, you know, an onion evenly. You know what I mean?
Not that small, no.
And that's pretty easy in comparison.
Absolutely. Faceting an onion.
Absolutely. That would look amazing. Do treat yourself to these. Have we had a text in? Did you just say? Yes, you did, for Prue, that we'll have a look at in a little bit. But more importantly, right now, I stroke bees as well. From Kelly. Oh, Ryan, how do you do it again, Ryan? How do you do it? Thank you, Kelly, you little love. That's funny. $8.95. Treat yourself today. It's got the colours of a bee, but it's probably a bit safer at £8.95. I've got DVDs and cord ends coming up for you in a little bit, and we will be getting Prue to answer some of your questions, so do stay tuned. Okay, Prue, I'm with you. We've got our gemstones as we like.
Yes, we've got our gemstones as we like. We've got the cords all in the right positions on the disc. We've got our core nicely centred. And it's very similar to the larger 6mm gemstones that we used, but obviously you do need to be a little bit careful that they don't jump out of position.
Okay.
But faceted beads actually do tend to stay in position quite nicely. So again, I'm just dropping that little, it's probably hard to see because it's so tiny, but as you can see, it's threaded beautifully onto the eslon. So just dropping it down the cord, tucking it under the next cord, and then slotting the cord into the bottom right. And same again, but what you do need to watch out for is just keeping that cord in position. Sorry, the core in position.
The core cords.
The core cords, absolutely. And then I'm moving round, and again each side.
Oh, okay.
But that's fine. You just go back a few steps and rectify it. Kumihimo is very easy to rectify, really, because you just reverse the moves exactly. So that's one of those little tiny faceted gold beads that's just popped in, and again that sits in very neatly. So always keep an eye on your beads to make sure they are locked into position. But I did find with these little ones that they braided in beautifully. And the advantage of having a cord here where you're using very small beads is that you end up still with the central area. The central beaded area is not too skinny as well. And so this is the part really that I'd be doing in front of the television, you see, because I've got my beads loaded on.
Yeah.
I can watch the screen and I can just enjoy the braiding and popping them in.
Have you got a tip of a top Kumihimo watch whilst Kumihimoing?
Well, I suppose I ought to say JewelleryMaker, oughtn't I?
Oh, well done. Yes, good. You've passed the test through.
But obviously, if it's at a time of day when JewelleryMaker isn't on,
of course,
then
well, it's always on because it's on repeat. But I know what you mean. If you've already watched
seen
it throughout
I've already
the day.
seen. No,
yes,
I would already have seen it. So then, I think something calming, really, something a beautiful nature
program.
Yes,
David
yes.
Attenborough.
Yes, you don't want anything too tense. You don't want a thriller because you'll start pulling your cords too tight and it'll wreck your tension.
Oh, okay. So none of the missing or any kind of scary programs.
No, nothing scary. No, I think you'd end up with very, very uneven braids.
Okay, good. So you thought it was a silly question, but actually it was ingenious. $8.95. Whilst you're building that up, I might squeeze a few questions in now.
Lovely,
if we've got
yes.
them, Liam, because we can obviously watch you and you can answer at the same time, ish. Don't forget, I have got the cord ends coming up. And edition 2 for you. Those are coming up, so if you are new or if you just want to get someone started at Christmas, then those DVDs are there for you. Right, let's have a little look. We've got one to pop up now. Hi both, Prue, your designs are beautiful. Will you be doing any workshops with JM or DVDs? Good question, Alison from Somerset. Trying to get the insider info. Because she's here, we have to ask. Go on.
Well, I'm not sure. I mean, I'm playing a bit hard to guess, aren't I? But yes, I will be doing a DVD, definitely.
Okay.
Nothing is actually organised. Yes,
nothing's got a date to it yet.
Exactly, but I would really love to. I have said before, the DVDs that you've got show the techniques that you need to do all this sort of Kumihimo. So, I think that you're well covered for DVDs, but I think, I have been thinking along some ideas that give something different.
Okay.
Because, that's the important thing. If you've got so many DVDs covering, or 2 really good DVDs covering the basics, I wouldn't want to repeat things. So that's what I'm working on, really. And I'm not really sure about workshops. I'll be doing some elsewhere in the country, so I think I'm going to learn. I'll make my mistakes elsewhere, shall I? And then then offer myself to JewelleryMaker.
Oh yeah.
But again, there are great workshops, and this round braid. If you do it with a great big fat cord, or if you do it with a tiny thin cord, it is the same structure.
Absolutely.
It's just your interpretation of what you use with it, your material style, really.
I love that.
So, if you want to learn how to do it, come to the workshops here. Whoever's doing them. Sarah does really good, and I think one of the beginners ones does a bit of Kumihimo as well.
It does a little bit, yeah.
So,
thank you very much for that, Alison. Actually, you've kind of leewayed us in beautifully to bring in these two. It's like you work here or something. I've got 2 DVDs for you now. Now, our Kumihimo our DVDs in general are fantastic. Monetary wise, we know they're a bargain. They're only actually $4.95 each. We have bundled them, so you will be getting them for less than that today each. You have got the introduction to Kumihimo. Now, each one of these is around Great to have a DVD. You can stop it, pause it, rewind it. If you've maybe tried Kumihimo and struggled a little bit with it starting off, it's lovely to have a DVD because it is easy to rewind. And sometimes, I don't know if you want to get yourself started, say on a YouTube, and maybe you're not that computer savvy and you found it a little bit tricky to kind of rewind to the exact point that you want time and time again, it can be a little bit easier. You've got in here, you will be shown how to use both of our discs, so the round disc and the square disc. You get shown how to very simply add gemstone, also how to cage gemstones as well, and how to do zigzag technique in there as well. There's a little clip from it coming up too. So it's with the lovely Sarah Alvin, and you can see us using some satin-like cords in that one. And then I've also got Kumihimo Edition 2, which is a newer one. You get shown how to do the flat braid on the square disc, which is something that not a lot of people will have possibly tried, but it is doable. It also shows you how to do a nice spiraling design, how to do some real nice high-end finishing touches as well to your pieces, and plenty more. All on your Kumihimo Edition 2, again with the lovely Sarah, but this time with Carol. And you see how to add on gemstones, etc. onto this. So that is on the second DVD. We know that these are £4.95 each, don't we? But today we're going to make them even more of a bargain. £5 for the two of these today. It's a great price for getting yourself started on a medium, also honing your skills.
Yes, absolutely, yes. And you can. The great thing is, you can practice. So you can see the moves, have a little practice, rewind, or go back a bit, and have another go. So it is a great way of learning Kumihimo.
It really is fab, isn't it? And at just £6.95, you can get it today at a stunning little price point. You buy one, you get one for pretty much £1, don't you? DVD special. It's great for loved ones. It's great for people that you want to get kind of pass your passion on to, of your jewellery making, really. And it is great just to hone your skills, because, and I'll get quite good at one, but then even if I take a slight break, I'll sort of forget it. Like, I'm really into crochet at the moment, and I tried to go back to a really basic crochet weave the other day, and I'd forgotten it because I'd been doing so many others. So it is lovely to have this sort of thing just to hone those skills, and as a little reminder, so do treat yourself. £6.95 for those today. I'm back with you, Pro.
Right, and so I've just been carrying on with that to get a little bit of braiding done, so we can see what it looks like. Absolutely.
Fab.
So if I turn the disc up,
oh, gorgeous,
we can see how the braid is appearing from underneath.
Oh yeah, that's lovely.
And as I said, it's the decisions I made when I loaded on the beads that created this design. When you've got a different type of threading of beads on four opposite cords, you will end up with some sort of spiral design like this.
Beautiful.
And just going back to what you were saying about the colours showing through on the quartz, on this grey agate, you do actually get that colour coming through, a little gold glow coming through.
Beautiful.
Yes. So the beads will be loaded on, so you just carry on until the beads are run out, and if you've counted accurately, you'll get that pattern. If you haven't, you won't.
And what if you don't? Would you go back?
It depends. Sometimes you have really happy accidents, don't you?
Yeah.
I think in a necklace like that, you don't particularly want a mistake on one side and not on the other. So
Very
you
true.
might want to try and make the same mistake on the other side, if you like it.
Probably.
Otherwise, just go back, and the way you go back is just simply by reversing. So if I can show you a little bit here. So I was about to move these ones, but if I go backwards, I just turn the disc in the opposite direction to the one I have, or to the next pair of cords. Take the cord out of the slot. Just dislodge that little gold spacer from underneath.
Ah, yes, of course, because that will be cool.
And go back in.
Good tip.
And then here again, pull it up, and then just dislodge it and pull it down again. So it's that easy.
Love.
And I know some people hate to see mistakes in their work, so it's up to you. Other people, they feel they've worked so hard to do all the threading that they perhaps don't want to go back. Personal decision, isn't it, really?
Personal decision, yeah, definitely.
Right, so what we need to do now, so let's imagine we've finished up all the beads, we've done that whole beaded section in the front, and we want to get back to doing half round braid.
Okay.
So all that has to happen is we put the cords, untwist them.
The core cords.
The core cord, you're right,
okay,
the core cords.
Yeah.
We put them back in their position. So if you remember, I had brown in 2 slots, so I just need to put those 2 at the side
And it doesn't matter which way you've got your cords, but I'm actually thinking about it. It is easier if you have them against. So I'm actually going to just move them round, and you can do that at any time you want to. There's no harm in moving to the slots that you want to, because if you remember, the way I taught the braid was looking at the right, the left, and all the rest of it. So I think it is easier to have them. So it makes no difference whatsoever if you suddenly decide to move back to a certain position. Just tighten up.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to find the brown cords first of all and put them at the side, remembering that there are 2 in each slot. Just make sure that any twisting, there's no twisting there. You want it all untwisted, so do it as neatly as possible, and then you get a neat transition from one braid to the other.
So the cords almost
yes,
of how they're resting.
Yes, no, that's right. And then, yes, so this one is closest to that slot. That one might as well, no, maybe that one there. So just to get the neatest transition that you can, and as little twisting as possible. So it still looks a little bit strange, of course, because they've come from different places. But as soon as you do your first sequence of moves, it'll all tighten up and look right again.
Wonderful.
So we go back to that half round braid, and I'll show you to prove that that does happen. So it's the top left down to the bottom right there on the east, and symmetrical move there. Bottom left up to above those cords on the east, and symmetrical move on the other side. The brown cord comes down on each side.
Okay.
And the last cord to be moved goes up to the top, and then we just reposition. And now the cords are all looking exactly as they should do. And so just continue there, continue so that your braid is exactly the same length as the one on the other side. And then the final part is how you actually finish it off.
Okay, wonderful. We will talk to you about finishing these pieces off, and I have got the cord ends coming up for you in a little bit.
Right, so you could of course use cord ends here, and on a different way, because there are all sorts of different ways that you can finish off your Kumihimo. What you need to do, so I've got a little cord here, what you need to do is stabilize the braid. So the way you do that is simply by sewing through or binding the end of the cord. And the way I do that is just taking some nice strong thread and on a needle and just sewing through the end of the braid and then wrapping it round tightly and then sewing through again just to secure it. So you've got a really nice little binding there. And then on top of that, I put a little bit of glue. And it was interesting, there was a discussion recently on a Facebook page about whether people do binding and glue, and some people do binding or glue, but the majority of people do both. It's probably overkill, but for this type of ending, the security of our necklace does depend on the strength of this hold, really. If it unravels, then the end will come off. So I recommend binding and glue.
Okay, fab.
So once you've got that all length of wire, I use 0.8 normally, and if you cut the end on a little point, it makes it easier to go through. And you just need to pierce the braid on the braid side of the binding. So
sorry, what do we mean by the braid side?
Rather than the end side. I want it inside the binding.
I see, okay.
So just be a little bit careful of your finger, obviously. So pierce the braid like that.
Yeah.
And then bring up the ends. And I've decided to use a little coil to cover the ends. You could use the wax Y-cone, you can use a gemstone with a large enough hole if you've got the sort of charm style ones. And I'm just going to trim off the end of the braid to make it a little bit shorter. And it's nice and stiff because of the glue. There we go. And then I'm just going to bend over the short end of the wire and trim it off, that extra bit. Just there's a little hook holding it in place. So that's really nice and strong because, you know, the binding is not going to go anywhere and you've got the wire on the other side of it.
Okay.
Then you want something to cover the the binding and everything. Obviously, you'd use binding in a matching colour rather than the bright red that I've used.
It's just handy for you to see,
exactly,
I suppose.
Exactly. And then you just need to. So this coil I actually made with the bail making pliers, and I made it with the third smallest.
Okay, step on those ones. Fab.
So you want it as tight as possible, as small as possible, because it will be neat like that. But you have got to just squeeze the end of the braid to get it in. And so often with jewellery making, a tight fit can be a little bit fiddly, but that's what you want, really.
Of course. Yeah, because
So
that's
that
how you know, isn't it?
Exactly,
It's in place,
and it doesn't wobble around in use and all the rest.
Yeah.
Push it down so that you've covered everything. And then I always top it with some sort of a bead. This is one of the spacer beads from the Findings pack. And then a wrapped loop to hold it in position. In fact, I think I put a little peridot on that one at the end, because it makes it look pretty.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, so,
Yes, you did.
and you can put on whatever you like really to make it look pretty. So having bent that, now I've got to straighten it a bit to make sure I can get that peridot on.
Yeah.
There we go. I have a problem with that because I've bent it so much. Ah.
It's all right. You can just take your time and unkink it, though, can't you?
Yeah, well, exactly, yes. Maybe use.
And the thing is, because it's a 0.8, it can kind of cope with.
Yes, it can. There we go.
There we go.
More or less. There we go.
That's it.
More or less. Could go down a little bit further, but anyhow. So then wrapped loop. And then you've got something to attach your clasp to. And so that gives you a really neat ending. An alternative to use. They're all tools in your arsenal, really. No, it's your weapons in your arsenal. Yes.
That's the one.
There we go. And then so you just add the clasp to that little loop. And that's basically how you make that necklace.
How wonderful is that? It truly is. We will talk about how to create that final necklace in a moment. But as we're talking about finishing off, how are we going to work with our cord ends?
Ah, right, yes. So here we've got, yes, you've got a lovely selection in there. So those are the glue-in sort.
Yes.
So for that you need to use a really nice strong glue. There are plenty on the website. E6000. Zap gel comes in the starter kit that I know a lot of people have.
Yeah.
Or hypo cement. They're all suitable for that. And you just again would bind and trim your end as I did before.
Okay.
And then you can put your clasp onto the end. So they're a very, very neat finish.
Wonderful.
And for people who aren't confident with wire work, they're
good for that
particularly
too.
good. Yes.
And now I've got the fold over, and how are these going to be worked?
You're right. So those. Again, in a very similar way, you make sure you stabilise the end of your Kumihimo with a binding, with a bit of glue, and then position the cord into that end, and then with the flat nose pliers, squash down first one side and then the other. And I tend to do it when the glue that I'm using is still a little bit tacky, so that again I've got that double security. So because if you're selling things, I think you can never have overkill of security of things, really.
Because that's what people will come back to you again if your pieces don't break, and that's always
absolutely,
a bonus, isn't it?
Yes.
Have you worked with these ones before?
No, I haven't. Oh,
these are screw.
Oh no, those look very interesting.
Ooh.
For the very dainty things, they'd be perfect.
They are really, really cutesy small. So if I show you, so you've got these. You can see that you've got the hole that goes through. So what we do is, say your cords were coming out at the side, you would obviously, if I show you the inside, you'd say have the knot and your binding, or maybe your glue on the inside just to keep it secure. And then your binding, your neckline piece or bracelet piece would come from this hole. But these are a pair, as I've said, and actually they twist together. Sorry, I've just moved that out of shot, haven't I? They corkscrew, twist together. So there we go. I've done them up for you there. So that is your clasp there. Real simple to do up and undo, as you can see. So those are the pair. You're actually getting 2 of those in total. So that's how it looks when they're together. You've got loads and loads of clasps in here as well, including your really large lobster claws. that are approximately, you get 2 of these, the lobster claw clasps are approximately 15 by 7 mil, so really I love, because they're super duper strong. I'm going to put them here, because I want to show you how strong these are. Ready? They're super duper strong. What's the size on these, did you say, Liam? 16 by 8 mil. They are super duper strong magnets, which means that they will come apart if, say, you have children or you work with children and they, as we all know, love to yank on your neckline pieces sometimes, don't they? It will come apart, but it is super duper strong so that your pieces will still hold together even if you've got quite a heavy neckline piece on. So you're getting 2 of those again, 2 of those clasps. See, they even attract to each other. Ah. Whoop, that's science. You've also got toggle clasps in here, a pair of those of your shepherd's hooks, the fancy loop shepherd's hooks, which actually, Prue, are very similar to the ones you have in your ears right now, actually, aren't they? You've got those beautiful, I always think of them
so easy to use, aren't they?
They really are, aren't they?
And I love those little simple ones.
And I love how they look from the front, because it's just a lovely detail, but then obviously you get kind of quite a dramatic side effect.
Yeah.
It's really pretty. So you've got a selection of those, and you get loads of jump rings as well. The sizing on the jump rings, 7 mil on those ones. So everything you can see on screen, you're getting. It all comes in a little matrix box like this that will have a clear drawer, suppose, to it. Cover, better word. So all of this today, great for Kumihimo and so much more. May as well just pour it all out. Your price today is just £9.95 for all of those. You've got a set, you've got one pair, 2 pair, 3 pair, 4 pair, 5 pairs, 6 pairs, 7 pairs, 8 pairs of clasps. You've got loads of shepherd's hooks, and you have all of those jump rings as well. What do you think of this pack? 44 pieces.
I think it's very, I love the way it's so neat and tiny, but it really is a useful collection of things. And the thing about findings is you can be really held up by doing something lovely and just not having the right piece to finish it off.
You're
so
right.
I think money spent on findings is generally well spent, to be perfectly honest. I used those fold-over ones on my favourite necklace as well. Yeah, so
goes to show.
Yeah.
And we will talk about your favourite necklace right now, please. So if you've just tuned in, Prue has created a beautiful selection, and you've quickly, sort of, you said 5 minutes, to chat us through
really,
how to create this neckline piece, which Prue understandably loves. So how did we create this, Prue?
Right, it's nice and straightforward. 8 cord round braids, so the most basic of all braids.
Brilliant.
You need a metre you need 8 individual lengths of 1 metre of, if you're going to do it with the brown, of the brown. But that would look really great with other colours as well. Other of those neutral colours would all work with it. You'd either get less or more contrast, clearly. All you need to do is, first of all, braid for about 10 centimetres for the little bit at the back that's just going to be against your neck, because I think quite often it's more comfortable to have just cord at the back of your neck, particularly for people who've got sensitive skin, really, because that's the part that takes the pressure.
Yes, you're right.
And then, so once you've braided for your 10, 15 centimetres, then you need to load on the beads. And what you've got is, now, I've forgotten, I think it was 12, 2, 4, 6, yeah. So it's 12 of these lovely little nuggety gold beads.
Yes.
2 peridots in the middle, and another 12. So again, totally symmetrical. And you need that on all 8 cords.
Okay.
2 beads from each cord. And that will give you that little beaded section.
Lovely.
And then you just need to have an unbeaded section, and I've got about 1 centimetre there. And one quite easy way of making sure that you get the sizing right is to use the dots on your disc to do the counting for you. So if you start your first beaded section when the cords are at the dots, you will find that when you've done it, when you've braided in your 2 beads, you will come about halfway between that dot and the next dot. You then carry on braiding without beads till you get to the next dot, and right round to the next dot.
Okay.
And then you braid in another 2 beads, and that's how you braid in 2 gold, 2 peridot, 2 gold to give the little central focal section,
yes.
And then you carry on back round the other side doing exactly the same thing.
I see.
You use a ribbon end to finish off, having bound and glued it,
I added a little teeny weeny dingle dangle on the end of it.
I love that.
And then you put it round your neck.
And then you wear it and adore it, realistically. So really simple techniques on there, actually. But
very simple, yes.
Very effective.
Yes, yes.
Very effective. And again, beginner standard?
Totally beginner standard, yes. That's the beauty of it, really.
It is so wonderful.
And don't you think that's the sort of thing you'd see in the British Museum in their shop with, you know, all the beautiful things that have been made based on the antiquities that they have there, or the Victoria and Albert, that sort of thing?
I completely can see it in that kind of area, definitely, because it's kind of unstated glamour, really, isn't it?
Yes.
It really is, which ties in with that era perfectly. Prue, they are absolutely beautiful. One thing that I know people will be asking about is these earrings, because they are sensational and a little bit different to what we might expect.
Yes, no Kumihimo there.
No Kumihimo at all.
But what I love about those earring findings is that you can use the front of it like that. So that's just quite simply some 0.25 wire, and I've just wire wrapped on the very tiny little seed beads. I think I did 7. Odd numbers always tend to be best in jewellery making, really. I did 7 on each side, and then underneath just added a little one of the featherlight head pins. And I think I had just 3 or 4 of the, I can't quite see them, I think it was 3 of the tiny faceted seed beads, 1 gold bead, and then repeated 3 again. And I think it sort of gives quite a the size, delicate but long.
But long, I know exactly what you mean. I do see what you're saying. Now, we had loads of messages and loads of questions sent in. We haven't got time to get through them all. I know we've already answered a couple. But one of them, which has apparently gone off Liam's server right now, said, what did it say, Liam? How do you know what size to do for bracelets for kind of different age groups? So, you know, young children, for example.
Right. Bracelet sizing is one of the most difficult things.
Yeah.
Because wrists tend to be very individual, and some quite big ladies can have tiny wrists, and vice versa.
Yes, absolutely.
And children also. You really need to try them on. Or you need to use the bracelet board that's on the website, the Bracelet Maker, because that gives you, because one of the problems with bracelet making is if you make a very fine chain bracelet, that will be one size, but if you have a very heavily beaded Kumihimo, because of the width of the braid, you need a much longer braid to get it round.
I see.
So when I'm working, I'm constantly working on my own wrist, because I know how that relates to other people's wrists, really, just through experience. You know, I know when I'm making for other people, or when I'm making for magazines or whatever, what they want. And then when I get to close to the right size, then I will try it on a board or something like that, just so you know.
And I suppose also with Kumihimo, if you're not totally sure, you could always add on a certain clasp, say with an extender.
Yes. No, that is a very good point. Yes. So always make it a little bit. If you're not sure, go a bit smaller rather than larger.
Yeah.
Because you could add a bead between the. You've got more flexibility if it's too small than if it's too big.
Brilliant. Thank you for that. We've added lots of lovely messages for you. Have you got some of them now, Liam? This one is from Jane. Hi Jane. Prue, you described how to do it brilliantly. You have given me the courage to have a go at putting beads onto a piece of braid. Thank you.
Good, I'm glad, because it does take you somewhere else. You have a lot of fun with it, and it's very easy. Just once you've got that knack, and it's so easy, just making sure they stay in place. And you can do so much with it.
Good. Oh, well, inspirational.
I'm so glad she feels that way.
Good. Now, how's your challenge going, Prue?
It's not.
Okay, good. Good.
I don't have a very good track record with challenges. I'm a bit slow.
No,
I'm going to really go for it now.
Okay, you go for it, Prue. Go for it. Whilst Prue's going for it, we're going to go. I have got some rarely seen treats and a section of under £10. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you after this.
Download the JewelleryMaker app today. You can watch our JewelleryMaker shows live, view all the details of the item that is currently on air, as well as browsing all the items from today's show. You can also minimize the video or switch to use as a companion app. Get the JewelleryMaker app today and boost your viewing experience.
Here at JewelleryMaker, we love seeing your jewellery creations, learning about your inspiration and reading your blogs. If you write your own craft or jewellery blog, then we'd love to hear from you. Simply tweet us at jewellery_maker UK with your blog link and we'll be in touch.
Owning a strand of genuine gemstones is always exciting, but being able is even more incredible. Why not add one of our printed authenticity cards to your order for just 50p and share that same feeling with your customers? You can also access online authenticity certificates for items you have previously ordered by looking at your order history on your account details. The certificate gives you valuable information about your purchase and is your guarantee of quality and peace of mind from the Genuine Gemstone Company.
Tiger's Eye is a gemstone that can be masculine or feminine. It comes in like these luscious caramel colours, and when you get it in fuchsia, that's my favourite, when it's bright pink. Love that, and the chatoyancy makes it so different. It sort of follows you around the room, so it makes for some really interesting pieces.
And I've worn it ever since. It has a lot of personal value to me. Not only that though, the JewelleryMaker Tiger's Eye, which you can get, exudes so much chatoyancy and more chatoyancy than I've ever seen from any other Tiger's Eye. The carat weights are brilliant, you can get it in dyed qualities, but it's the natural essence of the gemstone which I think people find so attractive about it, and that's probably one of the reasons why it's one of our biggest sellers.
Today's course has been really good. I've been on the macramé course with Deb Rudge, and we've been doing quite a lot of knotting techniques and bringing them together to make a little small owl. And then we're currently working on a freeform necklace or bracelet, which is really good because there's no rules. It's been a really, really good day. You get an awful lot from it, just in terms of being able to use your own imagination to transfer it into the piece that you're making, and it's just been a really good day, yeah.
Welcome back everyone to Design Inspiration. My name's Rebecca Redican, and guess Prue it is! Prue! You look bemused by that, Prue.
I'm over myself.
Hello, lovely. How are you?
I'm well. I'm very well. Bearing up.
Good, 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 good. Oh, starting on.
Starting, yeah, absolutely.
Don't forget, we gave Prue the challenge of those stunning price slashed cashew pearls. So she's getting started on those. We'll have a look at that in about an hour. Well, just less. I'm in my under £10 section now, so everything you're going to see in this next little section, it's going to be a bargain, and it's going to be great for those little stocking fillers, those little last minute treats that we want to give to ourselves. So let's get started with some head pins. Really? $9.25. I've not actually seen these before in $9.25. I've seen the shape ones in the findings packs, which are lovely. They're copper plated, aren't they? Sorry, gold plated copper. So I've seen those in that, but I've not actually seen them in $9.25. So you've got some of the star shapes, you've got your gentle dome. Look at that, domed flower. Don't forget, it's $9.25, you've got square as well. With your gold plating over the top of this, you've got lots of different shapes in here, triangles. Of each, so every single shape you get will be a pair. Oh, look at those diamonds. Oh, no way, how cool. This is such an exciting headpin collection, because you've got your clubs. Aren't they beautiful? Imagine those in kind of a pair of cufflinks for any kind of, you know, budding poker player with your little clubs. That'd be quite funky. You could have a club in one and you could have the diamonds in the other. Who was it the other day who said that for the whole of their life they'd thought that the club card was called a clover? Who was that? Can you remember, Pete?
Yeah.
34-year-old Glenn. Yes, he did. He definitely did, I remember, because I mocked him for a long time. He has always thought that the club has been called a clover. Awkward. You've also got your teardrop here as well. How fab is that? So, all of these you get in the pairs. Those are the different shapes. Oh, you've got the hearts too. You've got your hearts as well. They're beautiful. Wow, there's so much going on in here, there really is. And you've got the really large domed. So, if I just take out the duplicates, it might make more sense to you. So, got a pair of triangles. I've got a dome. If I hold those two sideways, you'll be able to see the difference, won't you, in those two? You've got your clover or your club for everyone else in the world. You've got your teardrop shape. You've got your diamond, your heart shape. You've got kind of, I always hard to describe, but kind of a flower-ish, I suppose. And then you've got your square. All 925 enveloped in your gold. All with a length of 40 mil. Your price today, $8.95. Don't forget, all of these have a pair, so they all have a corresponding piece to them, which means it's going to be great for doing things like your earrings, like your paired up cufflinks, as we've said before. $8.95. Now, when we're working with 95 at this time of year, it's always a little bit special all year through.
No, definitely more at this time of year, because I'm using it for presents, and I think that that's really what I want to give. I would rather give something small and 925. Particularly in the case of earrings as well, and I think earrings are always a really, really lovely present to receive. So, you know, and you've got plenty of time between now and Christmas to make a whole load of earrings. People package them up nicely, maybe with a gemstone and with a little bit of a history about the gemstone, and it makes a beautiful present.
Really?
Maybe with a bar of soap as well.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, earrings.
Because sometimes earrings are a bit small under the tree, aren't they?
Yes.
You know, some really fancy soap, and then in the same package, a little box with the earrings in. I think that'd be lovely.
I love that idea. I love that. I gave soap last year.
Nice
I did
soap.
make it myself.
I'm not talking, you know, just your normal bath soap. Nice soap.
I love that. £8.95 for you today for all of those. Do treat yourself, because do you know what? At this time of year, if you can't treat yourself to really high-end metals, when can you? Okie pokely. Next up, in under £10. Okay, let's bring a little bit of purple pop to your life. Oh, gosh, that one's beautiful. Oh, my torch is over there. Why do I always leave my torch? Brother Pete! Hi, Brother Pete. Can I have my torch, please? Thank you, Brother Pete. There he is, looking dapper in his sort of tablecloth, I was going to say. I didn't mean that. No, I didn't mean that. I was trying to say tartan. I was trying to... Oh, Pete, I'm sorry. I'm trying to say tartan.
That's horrible.
It doesn't look anything like a tablecloth at all. Oh, I really like you in that. I really like you in that shirt, Pete. It's too late, isn't it?
Way too late.
You have got this beautiful purple banded areas of transparency on this. Isn't that spectacular? Can you see the way the light's shining through some of these? Really pretty, isn't it? So this is that purple banded agate that we've got. You've got 165 carats worth approximately on this strand. These are your marquise shape. So when we're talking about the marquise shape, we're talking about kind of the eye shape, I suppose, isn't it? And it is drilled at the lengthiest point of this gemstone, so it gives you a real nice elongated look. Oh my goodness, look at this one. Come on, torch. Isn't that beautiful? Wow. So these are 20 by 12 mil. Again, every single one of them is a little bit different, a little bit individual, all with different areas of colour running through, different swirls, different banding. It's really lovely, lovely to see. We have, of course, applied a colour to this. That's why it's purple, but all the bands on there are totally Mother Nature. That's not us. That isn't us at all. We have applied a dye to make it that beautiful, rich purple, purely because Mother Nature doesn't create this type of colour in this type of gemstone in the real world world. So we add a little bit of dye just to beautify this for you. ESGP24 your code. Your price today, £6.95. That wasn't one that I expected, I'll be very honest with you. I was expecting the £8.95 on this one, especially for the amount that we've got and the fact that the quality is really, really there. What would you do with these wonderful Prue?
Right, I think they've got reasonable sized drill holes, haven't they?
Let me have a little double. Yeah, they actually have, because look, it's a double temporary strand. It's still decent size.
I think what I'd do is string them as a necklace with something spaced in between, maybe a little pearl, little white pearl, but also in each bead just pass a little piece of probably 0.4 wire and then have a little coil at either end, so that you've got a little bit of decorative wire work on each one. Not too much, because you've got the banding as well, maybe just on some of them, on some of the plainer ones, then have the more banded ones undecorated, but that can look quite fun.
That will look really fun. I love the idea of that. And again, that's listening to the gemstone, really, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
5 for you now. These are lovely. Gosh, that laugh was creepy, Ryan. Did anyone else notice that? It was like, in my ear. Oh, that gave you a little bit of insider to our Christmas VT. Have a little look at these. Hey, hang on, under £10. Wow. Have a little look. These are your lovely silver-plated, copper-textured rondelles. These are 11 by 7 pound. See the size on that drill hole? Huge, isn't it? Got 20 of these, so loads to work with. Because they've got such a large drill hole, in fact, I will measure that for you if I may. You could actually get some Kumihimo braids through these, because the drill hole on these is approximately 6, maybe even 7 mil, I would suggest, from what this is kind of giving me as an idea. So you'd be able to get quite a few braids through these, actually, wouldn't you?
Yes, you would. Do it like almost like a charm bracelet, really. So a nice chunky braid, as close as possible to the size of the hole, and then spread those out, sort of maybe 4 or 5 per bracelet. It would look lovely. Or a necklace, so together at the front, a little bit more spaced out around the side.
That's a really lovely idea. Don't you love Prue's sort of, I've just come up with an idea noise then? It's like a light bulb moment. There's lots of you coming in for this. Hello, multi-buyers. You've got silver plated, so it's genuine silver plating along the top of it. It's not flash, silver plating, which means you're getting even more of that precious metal over the top of this gorgeous, gorgeous copper, which is great, because it means super, super sturdy with the copper base, but you've also got that high shine elegance of the genuine silver as well. 11 by 7 mil on these. They're 20 pieces in total, which is absolutely plenty. Your price point today for all of these is just £9.95 for you on them. It is a great little price, and you get so much. If we know that well-known, even suggest actually that these can get through those base, you know, the bases, you can buy the metal or the leather bases, can't you? I would suggest that these would actually go through, and if that is the case, blimey, it's going to be a really nice look, but something a little bit different, isn't it? £9.95 for 20, work it out, just pennies each. Now, I am moving on, but I've still got plenty of those. The only reason I'm moving on is because I've got so much to fit into this under 10. Oh, these on my tea bar. Well, I never. A pair, you say? They are quite Christmassy, yeah. Make a statement with these 2 hollowed strands. Prue, have you worked for where you've kind of got the large shapes, maybe with the cutout in?
I haven't actually, but I can see loads of potential for them. Because of the way you can suspend things in the middle, but you can also wrap around the outside if you want to.
Yes. Absolutely, just little suspended gemstones in there. Also, it's quite nice if you are into things like your metal clay or your polymer, if you wanted to use these almost as a frame, then of course you could absolutely do that and then just secure all those internally. What I've got here for you is the round loops, which are 30mm. Approximately 400 carats, sorry, of your 36 by 27mm on there. So plenty for you to get your teeth into with these. Your price point for Reg C 48 is just, wait, that's not under £10. We're going to cross the price, obviously. It's not £13.90, that just should be priced. If you went on the internet right now and tried to buy these individually, that would be the price you'd pay. But till 9 o'clock, it's just £9.95 for you today. Wedge C 48, treat yourself to these today. You're getting plenty as well. Let me show you this strand. How many you're getting? Getting a serious amount, aren't you? Huge amount on there. But I love the noises as well. Can I just do that near my mic? Oh. Can you hear that? It's like little wind chimes, isn't it? It's like when Pete's on his cloud playing his harp like the little cherub that he is. I'm trying to make up for the tablecloth incident.
It'll take more than that.
Oh, Prue. At £9.95 for you on those two strands. Congratulations. Obviously, because we don't have these in very often, and when we do, you'd probably expect a much higher price point, because obviously the workmanship, but also the rarity of the fact that we get these shapes in. They're really versatile, lovely for you to use to do some really statement pieces. These are going to go across a lot of mediums, a lot of pieces, and actually it's going to go really nicely, I think, with the next one I've got coming up for you, because look, it's the same size and shape as this one. This is what I've got coming up for you next. Actually, they'd be lovely as a pairing together. And those burning sort of ember tones, isn't it? I've got the black one. Well, I say black, but actually I've got some banding on this. This is your black agate in the rectangles. I have got banding in areas of this. Some gentle, such as on this one here. Can you see delicate banding here? Oh, it's kind of hard for you to see because of the light shine, but you've got delicate banding here, and then you've got some with more obvious banding, like this one. 400 carats worth of these. They are 36 by 26mm for me. Gentlemen, stop it, you're digging me. Oh, you're being mischievous. I may or may not, in the break, have eaten some chicken nuggets. I have now been told that I have chicken nugget fingers. And they're like, oh, I don't mean that you... What has Pete just said? Pete just said, do you want a tablecloth to wipe your chicken nugget fingers with? Why, Pete, can I borrow your shirt? Can I? Oh! You have got 400 carats worth here. They are going to go perfectly with that duo we've just done for you, and I think you'll appreciate the sizes of these and the shape of these and the workmanship of these, and particularly when you see the price. Just £6.95 for you on those again. They are your black agate. Have a look. Plenty on there. Again, it's your black agate, but there are banding areas. I've just noticed some more of the banding on here. That's a really nice one, isn't it? Chocolate box. £6.95 on those ones. They are really, lots of you coming in again. Even if you didn't actually get the red tones, maybe you actually like how dramatic and dynamic those are in shape, but maybe the colour palette's not there for you, you want something a bit more subtle, then why not go for this? But they go perfectly with that one as well. So add it to your basket. It's the lowest price we can go to on a strand. £6.95 for you today. Oh, I showed you this one earlier, didn't I? I gave you a little sneaky peeky of it. I showed you this as an example earlier on as a pairing, and I think they are beautiful. I don't think when I showed you this earlier on and I showed you it as a pairing, I doubt that you would have expected this strand of pink amethyst to actually be under £10. I don't think you'd have expected that, because of course pink amethyst we don't get very often. It has got that sort of Rose de France tone. Say is that it probably shouldn't be, but the fact that I'm in last and low stock opportunity on this, we are going to give you an amazing price point. I have got less than 30, which is really important to point out. These are your puffy coins. You have got a graduation that I can show you. You have got from around a 5mm, so beautiful, delicate, even with that high shine, all the way to around an 8mm. So a real nice bold difference here that you can, you know, show off in a very obvious manner, or of course you can keep it quite subtle as is stranded. So the puffy coins that we have, it's an unusual shape, and they are, as you can see, the sparkle on these, it's just really captivating, isn't it? Every single one kind of twinkles at just the different stage, because you've got those facets pointing into the center of these. It's almost like the light spins around them, doesn't it? Almost goes around them, doesn't it? You have got 55 carats worth. Already people coming in for this. It is your pink amethyst. It's a huge rarity for us to have it here at JewelleryMaker, and I'm glad we have today. I'm shocked it is this price. $8.95. $8.95 for pink. Do you think of this strand, Prue?
Oh, it's lovely. It's so, so feminine, isn't it?
Yes. It is really beautiful.
And for all ages. You know, you could make something very special for a little girl or a granny.
Hey, you're right. It is, because it's kind of one of those tones, I suppose, which is, it's not OTT, it's not too much of a pop. Because sometimes I think when you think of this kind of feminine, nice, beautiful, pretty pinks, you can think of quite strong tones, but this is a really gentle one, isn't it?
Yes, definitely. It's beautiful, beautiful tone.
I've not got many of these left now. I am in Last Chance Saloon. I am in my teens, in fact, right now. If I were to kind of work this strand and wanted to intensify the feel of that colour, how could I do that, Prue? Even if it were with, say, your Kumihimo. What kind of colours or braids maybe could I add with this?
Well, I think we're going back to that thing about the quartz, really, that if you put the bright colour through it, you are going to intensify the colour. So I think you'd want to go, in fact, in the first kit, I think that the purple colour that was in there would be absolutely perfect for that. Yes, and maybe knot it in between, so you both get the cord showing through, and you get the little knot on either side of each stone, which spreads them out, makes them more secure, but also does give them that little hint of colour in between.
That's a perfect idea. Oh my goodness, I love that. $8.95, 55 carats worth of your pink amethyst. $8.95. Clasps. Clasps. Heart-shaped clasps. And some lobster claws as well. I don't know why. I don't know why this has made me laugh. I really don't. But I just thought, oh goodness, this would be a great collection for all you lobster lovers. What are you doing, Tom? Oh Lord, you've got your heart-shaped clasp and your lobster clasp as well. So what have we got here? Well, we have got 5 sets of these heart-shaped clasps. You'll be able to see that one of the hearts will be open, and then you've also got one that is closed. It does still have a slight inlay, or a slight well, I suppose, so you can take these apart really simply. I've then got your genuine 925 high-end, as you like, beautiful lobster claw clasp. These are around 11 by 6, and you are getting 4 of these in total. So you're going to be getting 5 pairs of your hearts. And am I right in saying you're going to be getting 4 of these, Liam? Yep. Yeah, I know, that's what I'm thinking. Confusing, isn't it? We'll find out for you in a second. I'm pretty sure you'll be getting 4 more than likely, because I have got 4 out here for you. They are a stunning, stunning pairing, whatever way you look at it. You have got a lovely price point today for all of these clasps. Slippery little lobsters. £12.85 as you should be priced on these ones, but today we're going to knock that price down because it's under £10. I felt like a weather girl then. Your price point, £7.95. Even just that.
No, excellent.
that Prue?
Yes.
These lovely hearts, I think they're really, really pretty. And what I do quite like about them, especially for things like your Kumihimo, is the fact that we've put the eye loops on specifically in different ways. So if I hold it like this, you'll see on this one, the eye loop goes in line with the heart, whereas on your base one, it's opposite in direction. That means it makes your Kumihimo rest really, really nicely. Multi-buyers, hello everyone. Do check out, because at this time of year, when you're creating pieces with love, you can say it in a heart, or you can say it with your 925. Just $7.95 for you today. Oh, hello. What's that? Oh, that's lush. Have we got loads? Got loads of this next one, which is good. Price me. Really? Lowest price we can go to on an individual strand, is it? Blue Tiger's Eye. Look at that. So it's Tiger's Eye, which is blasting out chatoyancy. And what we've done is we've added a blue tone to this, which means you still get that same impactful chatoyancy, which I've got to say is easier to see with the eye than it probably is to see through the camera lens. But you're getting it with a beautiful blue, just spectacular. It actually gives it quite a lot of strength to me anyway, because if you think, obviously we know that Tiger's Eye used to be worn by, you know, great warriors. It used to be implanted and inlaid into armoury and into weaponry also, because they used to believe that it was going to give them power, give them strength, and of course, you know, giving them power and to scare off their enemies essentially. So it's nice that we've still got that chatoyancy and that effect, but actually we've also got that beautiful strength of the colour added as well. Fog Pea, oh for you. That is the lowest price we could possibly go to on an individual strand. And you are going to be getting your beautiful Tiger's Eye. Price point is pretty astonishing actually. Did you say that this is our last one? In the under £10, okie pokely. So, if you want a little treat, now's your last chance to get it in this show. £6.95 for you, it's under £10, there's a little extra treat for you today. Really is spectacular, isn't it? 80 carats worth. Prue, what would you do with these ones?
I think, I tell you what they'd look beautiful with, and that's the clear quartz, the spotty ones that were on earlier. I think they'd look amazing just as a nice bold necklace using the spotty clear quartz rounds that we had, and just a nice chunky necklace. Alternate them. I think they'd look fantastic like that.
That would be really nice, wouldn't it?
I love those beads. The spotty ones.
The spotty ones. They're super cute, aren't they? They are super adorable. £6.95 for you. Congrats. Okie dokie. Now, clasps. Oh! Gold, silvers. Oh, look at those. Actually, these would go spectacularly with those spotty gems we were just talking about, because they've got the polka dots. Have a little look. Aren't they cute? Polka dot shorts. Why are you singing about polka dot shorts? Is that a song, or are you just making that up? Isn't it polka dot bikini?
Yes.
Polka dot shorts. Is that a different song, is it, Pete?
Yeah, it's a different song.
Oh, get the brains, Pete. The brains, the genius, Pete. You forgiven me yet, Pete?
It's getting there.
It's getting there. You've also got the silver in this effect as well. And we have the rose gold. So again, if I show you, one side's got a little well, and one side's got a really clear opening, like you can see there. So that's how you undo them. Show you them together. Polka Dot Shorts was a TV show, was it? Oh, really? I've never heard of it. Prue, have you?
No.
A Canadian TV children's show. That is a niche. Oh, how did I not know about that? After all of the Canadian TV I watch. You have got 30 of these. Your price point today. £19.95. It should be. Anyone want £5 off? Exactly. £5 back in your pocket right now. £14.95, £5. Put it back in your pocket. Praz 17 is your code on this today. Because, of course, it doesn't matter what colour you're working with, in the sense of it doesn't matter if you've been working with your gold, your silver wire, your rose gold. It doesn't matter, because you're going to be able to have the right clasp to work with it, because sometimes that is a bit of a pain, actually, if we're honest about it, isn't it? If you've created a gorgeous, say, silver neckline piece, lots and lots of wire, or even that silver coloured Essilon, but then you don't actually have the right clasp to finish it off in the right colour, the corresponding colour, can be a little bit upsetting. £14.95. How strange is that? I was talking about Family Nest last night. The boys were just talking to me about, do you remember Family Nest? It was a cartoon about the Loch Ness Monsters. It was a family of Loch Ness Monsters. Do you remember?
I don't know.
Don't worry, don't worry. I'll show you later, Chris. I'll get you an
to look forward to.
£14.95 for those. Lots of you coming in for them. These go really nicely, as quite early on. These would go really prettily. Have a look. Purple crackled agate. Now, I'm in my last chance saloon on these already. Let me just get my torch. Hang on. For you to see. You have got areas of transparency through here. This always reminds me of kind of a dragonfly's wing, if that makes sense at all, because it's got those beautiful areas whereby the crackle has occurred and the dye has been applied, and what happens is the dye itself pools in these crackles within the lovely agate, and it's lovely because you almost get a bit of a stained glass feel, actually. Every single one, you'll see that you've got areas of rough in here as well, where we've sliced it, but then we've really gently faceted it too. You have got around 650 carats worth of this. Perfect for if you want a faux cab with these. Perfect for if you want to really do a statement individual neckline piece, or if you want a statement, you know, bracelet piece as well. About a quarter of the stock gone, I've just been told. Your price point today, get it quickly, stunning. £11.95 for you today. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 I have on mine, so working out just over £1 a pop. It's a really stunning price for, let's face it, statement pieces. Every single one, because it's the way that these are created. You've got different areas of rough around them. You've got different areas of kind of the way that the colour intensifies, I suppose, throughout. Quarter of my stock gone. If everybody checked out right now, I'd have single figures. Sorry, I'd have single figures if everybody checked out now. So please do so. £11.95. With pieces like this, you don't have to go OTT. You can just create these really lovely eye-catching pieces without too much work, but actually get reek. £11.95 for you at 650 carats worth of your agate. Massive size, up to 45 by 33 mil. Okie pokely. So we're moving on to a bit of a double strand, are we? I haven't seen this in ages. I remember it selling out first time. I remember it selling out the first time we had this strand on. Well, having it on in kind of a decent quantity, if that makes sense. I remember it selling out, and we had to put a reorder in for this because so many people adored it. It is spicy, it's hot, it's zesty, the clarity is intense, it's wonderfully organic, it is your gorgeous double. Oh. The colour is already banded for you. This is kind of Mark Smith's dream, really. In fact, they've got the chips and nuggets workshop on right now in the workshop room. They are doing the chips and nuggets. There they are, look at Mark's stunning jumper. Two little reindeer frolicking on a Christmas tree. It's gorgeous, that, isn't it? So we have got the chips and nuggets in at the moment, and he would love this strand, not only because of the shape of it. We know he loves working with organic shapes like this, but also because it's colour graduated out, and that's what he would spend a lot of his time doing. And you see it goes from these really rich, deep, burnt umbers, all the way to a kind of citrus, all the way to this light inner wire flame that we have here. Would you keep it like that, to be honest, Ryan? Yeah, I could see that. It's beautiful, isn't it? DXSF48. It's a gemstone which has been thousands of years in the making. Your price? That's a double strand. Should be almost 13. £9.95. This is a double strand of beauty for you. This we call a double strand, but actually I take a because we do some strands that are kind of 5 or 6 centimetres long, don't we, with things like your diamonds, but then we also do some which are a little bit longer, maybe even around your 40 centimetres. So we say as a general, kind of on average, we're around the 30 centimetres mark. This is around 80 centimetres, so almost a metre's worth here. So actually it's a double our average and a little bit extra, really, isn't it? £9.95, multi-buyers on this, half and half split at the moment with single buyers and multi-buyers. £9.95 for you for your gorgeous heaty fire opal. Fire opal, don't forget, it was only due to a book written by Sir Walter Scott, and he wrote a book that essentially the kind of principal character within the book was called Lady Hermione, and it was said that she was falsely accused of being a demoness, and it was believed that she wore opal, and as simple as that, as soon as that book came out, pretty much the sale of opal dropped by around 50%, and it's kind of changed. It's had a total flip reverse since then. It really is sort of an underdog gemstone which has just been reborn, really. Now people see fire opal as, well, opal in general, as a real good look charm, because of course it does have the opportunity to display things like your rainbow colours in there, which we always connotations with rainbows is good luck and money and wealth, and opal have taken on those kind of attributes in for a double strand. Get it whilst you can, because the last time it was so popular and it sold out, we couldn't get it back for a while. I have got it back in today if you're quick. £9.95. Half of my stock has gone on that for you. Ooh, these are big, bold bubblers of beauty. That was a lot of alliteration. Big, bold bubbles of beauty. Have a look. Crackle quartz, but then they've got this rainbow coating on the top of them. Can you see how subtle that is? It's a real subtle coating. It's not over the 480 carats worth we have here. Big, bold, because they're 14 mil. They are seriously sizable. The coating is really, really delicate. It sounds unusual, and this is very unusual for a coating, but you can't actually see the coating covering the gemstone until the light catches on this. It's almost clear, but then as the light catches it, you see this display of rainbow colours. I doubt it highly, but I wonder if I get my torch on it, if you'll be able to catch any of that. No, not really. It's really tricky to see. See a bit of the pink then, actually. You just got a little bit of a pinky purple burst then, didn't you? That's I've got that lovely, lovely. It is a bubble, like, you know when you're blowing bubbles with the kids, or when you're doing washing up or whatever it might be, and you get, when the light catches and you get that sort of window pane of your pinks and your purples and your golds, that's what you've got on here. That's what we've got. Really delicate coating. It's stunning, actually. 480 carats worth we have in these, and they are big, bold, and beautiful. It's going to be nice for a statement ring, actually, that, isn't it? Really pretty for a big statement ring. A pair of cufflinks, these are going to be great, because obviously with a pair of cufflinks, you've got to be careful. It depends on what you're doing, but you've got to be careful for the fact that if you use too small of a gemstone, maybe like a 6mm, might actually pop through the actual cuff, so we don't want that. So these will be great for a cufflink, won't they? When we're working with a 14mm, you've got the chance to be quite big, bold, and statement. You can use the whole kit and caboodle if you wanted, and still have plenty left for a ring to go with it. That'd be really beautiful and statement. But if you just wanted to use 3 of these on a piece, you absolutely could. Even just one, actually, individually is going to be eye-catching enough on a lovely piece of cord. This is leg P 56. Your code today is the code, your price. It's for you today. I'm going to count these, just to give you an idea of how many you'll get. Obviously, it's done on carat weight, but just to give you an idea. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. I've got 27 on mine. So that's plenty, actually. Considering how big and bold these are in size, because can you work out the average carat weight for me, please? 27. Yeah, so 480 divided by 27, because I'm just working out what the average carat weight on these would be, because they are so big and bold. It's interesting to know, isn't it? And if you're not sure what a carat is, by the way, it is a weight given to a gemstone. 17.7, so over 17.5 carat gemstone. That is astonishing, actually, isn't it? When you think for those high-end pieces, and you'll be lucky to get, you know, half of a carat, that's really wonderful. £9.95 for you today. Lovely on that. Sorry, what? What? No! Liam's just got... Wait, what? Liam just started yelling no in my ear, and I had no idea why. £7.95. Hang on. You didn't put this in the under £10 section, and you definitely didn't put it in the price drop section, even though it's hitting both of those things. That's a little treat for you that you don't think you were expecting. £7.95. Liam really wants you to own this and to enjoy working with this gemstone.
Ooh. You know what, I think I might put a few on my Christmas tree first of all, and then after Christmas.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Wouldn't they make perfect little baubles on a little table-sized Christmas tree?
Adorable.
But that would just be temporary, because I wouldn't want them locked away with all the Christmas decorations for the rest of the year. I think black. I think I'd put black with those, yes.
Okay.
Yes, maybe some black spinel or something like that.
Oh, that'd be nice. Actually, might go nicely with that snowflake obsidian.
It would, yes.
Oh,
yes,
like
yes.
£7.95, it's a bargain. Leg P 56, that's your code. Okay, we're going to head around the corner quickly to a gemstone strand. If you're into steampunk, if you're into vintage, I genuinely can't think of a better looking strand than this for you. It's lush. Silver coated pyrite. That is so beautiful, isn't it? Do you see what I mean about vintage? And do you see what I mean about steampunk? Be fantastic working together, wouldn't it? You've got plenty on here as well. I'll measure it for you soon, but I imagine that it's going to be around the 40cm mark. I really do. You have got 20 carats worth here. They're 3mm. So already this is going to be tricky to facet anyway, because obviously with a 3mm you have to create the shape work with on an extremely powerful lathe pretty much that we're creating these with. So already that's going to be difficult. But then for the fact that it's pyrite can make it even harder, because as we know, kind of pyrite itself occurs in quartz veins, so it's already pretty tricky for you to get your hands on, and it's even harder to get it due to the structure of this into these faceted shapes on such a small space in such a small degree. But we've done it for you. It's going to be great for your steampunk, going going to be perfect for your bead loom, going to be wonderful for your cluster jewellery, cluster ring jewellery. If you want to do a really high shine, sparkly, beautiful, ever glamorous beady bead with these, then you absolutely can. It's going to be a really stunning high shine effect. Wow. Wow. Because honestly, let me just show you this, because for the amount you're getting, never been seen by itself before. Oh, come here. I just want to give you an idea of kind of the amount you're going to be getting. I've got enough to do a triple wrap bracelet here, or I've got plenty if I wanted to do a double wrap bracelet and a ring, and I mean plenty because look at the amount I've got left over. I just think it is a beautiful, beautiful, you don't have to do too much. When the gemstones talk to you like as loudly and as happily as this one does, there's not much you have to do. Faceted gold spaces that we had in that second designer inspiration, imagine these with that. In fact, oh, where's Brother Pete? Could I just grab that, your favourite necklace, please?
Certainly.
Because I'm just thinking, with those...
Oh, yes. Yes, no, that would work really well.
Good. To see, with, instead of, or included in, do you see what I mean? With those, this is for the second designer inspiration. Wouldn't that go really nicely? That would kind of actually give you Kumihimo a bit of a steam before, but I really love that idea. Oh, alternate colours in each of those little pockets, or even just, you know, straight swapping out. Whatever you want to do with these. At $6.95, it's a bargain. 20 carats worth. I absolutely love it, I really do. It's high shine, it's sparkle. Got a real deep lustre. And it's a bargain. Can't say fairer, can you? £6.95. Okay, this is a quick off the mark. How many? 10. I've got 10. They're going to be less than £10. These are sensational. Luxury side are not only almost a perfect round, they're only a mil out. They are as smooth as you like, already bringing up the price point. You would probably be looking at this as a dedicated jewellery maker family member. You'll probably be looking at this and expecting maybe the $19.95 point, possibly the $14.95. For some reason today, I've no idea how or why, but today you're getting it for this price. $9.95. How? We know that you price pearls depending on the size, and this is a luxury size. We know that you price them on possible. I don't know. We're going to have to move on. I've only got 2 left. I did give you a heads up on quantity. Sorry if you've missed out on that. Check out these baskets because there is 2 opportunities left. Told you. It's fab, isn't it? Where to? Yeah, let's do my birthstone. Go nice actually with those amethyst drops that we saw earlier on. Gorgeous amethyst. Take a look. This is really deep and rich. Oh, that is stunning, isn't it, actually? Now, we know that this is high quality amethyst, don't we? We've got the similarity running through each of these. It's got that gorgeous Zambian tone, which stating that it's from Africa. It may well be from that location. You have got a real lovely richness, kind of the most regal of all the purples, really. This type of amethyst, isn't it? Actually, how stunned would this be with the pink amethyst? I think that as a pairing would be really lovely, especially for the boldness, not only of the colour, but also of those wonderful, wonderful domed large. So with these ones that we have here, your lovely ovals, you're looking at around a 10 by 8 to approximately 15 by 10 millimetres. It's a lovely, beautiful graduation on there that you can, of course, really make a statement from the fact of saying taking a few at the centre and then a few at the end and bonding them next to each other. But if you want it to look more gentle, then of course you can do just as is stranded. This is a way to go out with a bang, I've got to say. It's high quality, you can see that for yourself. Workmanship, colour. That's not going out with a bang though, is it? That's more of a pop. That's like a, I can't do that. Pop. That's going out with a pop. I'm going out with a bang at taking £5 off this strand. £12.95 for you to take. Tom, where's the bang? Yeah! Whoa, there it was! £5 off. That is going out with a bang on Designer Inspiration, taking £5 off, taking it to just over £10. It's stunning, £12.95. Now, I'm actually thinking that these would go beautifully with Prue's gorgeous challenge, which I'm going to be over to look at in the next few seconds. This would go really nicely because if you remember we had those keshis and they'll go really spectacularly with that. 60 carats worth we've got there. QAIK06, that's your code, get them whilst you can. £12.95. The keshis are at the bottom of the screen. Don't forget they should have been £12.95. We took money off for Santa's special on those ones. Do you fancy having a look at some of Prue's pieces now? Go on then. Go on then. Those are the keshi pearls that we're going to be showing you in a bit. This obviously we've just taken £5 off a gorgeous strand of one of your favourite gemstones. So that is
they all went into one.
That is so eye-catching. How are they to work with?
Lovely to work with.
I can't believe you've done this in about 40 minutes.
I think probably I could have done a better finish on them. I will say that, but the drill holes were nice and large, so it was easy to get the thread through them. No, they were lovely to work with. Such a pretty colour.
Oh God, they are really pretty, aren't they, in colour?
Yes.
So how have we managed to create this look?
It's Kumihimo in the front.
Yes.
But Kumihimo done on beading wire, and then I've got it. And then single keshi pearls up the sides, and then the triple chain at the neck to give it a bit of something different.
Bit of a different feel, bit of a different zhuzh. They've got a gorgeous organic nature to them, haven't they?
Just? Yes. No, they're beautiful. Yes, I could do with a whole box full of those.
Well, at £8.95, why not treat yourself?
Exactly,
because you've already got money off there.
Yes.
They are your purple top drill keshi pearls. You're looking at around an 8x6 on these. Really unusual for us to get keshi pearls in that size because obviously there's no nucleus to these, so normally they're a lot smaller. The fact that you're getting them in such a decent size and you're also getting it price slashed because it should have been £11.95 and now we're getting it for £8.95. That's the reason it's a Santa's special. I'm happy to say I've got plenty of these for you. So if you are watching at night time, do give us a call, 0800 644 655, and find out how to get your hands on these, because at that price point, we know that pearls are going up in price. We know that keshi pearls of this size are hard to come by. We don't have them that often anymore at all. And we know that pearls are set to continue in popularity for next year, 2015. Pearls are still high in fashion all the way to spring, summer, and actually some of these colours are actually very reminiscent of next year's Pantone as well. £8.95. How come you put it with the rose gold? Should have asked that really.
Soft pinky colouring, yes, yeah. But you could go any way really, and you could just make that central section into a bracelet. That would look lovely, a real statement bracelet, just Kumihimo. And I think they're very versatile.
How many strands is this Kumihimo?
8.
8 strands?
Yes, 8 strands, yes.
Isn't it fantastic? This is a really nice thing about Kumihimo. Even just by adding different shaped gems and organics, I would never have been able to guess that was an 8 strand or whatever it was, because it was so different.
Exactly, yes. And the workings are hidden inside the braid, really, so yes. And using it with beading wire, you get a more open weave on it as well, so you get a different effect there as well, beading thread.
Yeah, it's really beautiful, Prue. Thank you so much for showing this to us. I just think, oh, it's just spectacular. FWGP90 is your code on that right now. Don't forget it should have been £11.95, but it was Santa's special, so we price dropped it for you to £8.95. Prue, thank you for today, as always.
Thank you very much for having me. It's been tremendous fun. I've really enjoyed it, so thank you.
I'm very, very glad. When are you next with us?
Not until the end of January, 22nd of January.
Oh my goodness! What are you doing for Christmas?
Oh, I've got the whole family coming. So Christmas starts for me tomorrow, and my lovely bead room's got to be dismantled. There'll be people sleeping there. I have everybody descend on me. So It's going to be busy.
It's going to be busy.
Yes, but lovely, tremendous fun.
God,
yes.
I hope it's truly, truly contented and you have a wonderful
Thank
time.
you.
Thank you so much, Prue, for that. Now, lovely ladies and gentlemen, I've got to tell you about, because this weekend is important. Mark Smith on Friday, Gemma Crow on Saturday, and then on the Sunday, I've forgotten, but it's really good. So do tune in on Friday. Debbie Kershaw, boom! Me and Prue will see you soon. Ed's coming up with pearls. See you soon, guys.
Where is everyone?
What have you come dressed as?
We're doing the princess thing.
No, we're doing the best Christmas story ever.
What?